Oh, hey bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Ooh, hey y'all. Welcome and happy Monday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, the show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and hot topics of pop culture. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today. Excuse me, including I just ate, that's why I'm feeling a little gassy. um, and I'm gonna give you a little tea in a minute, regardless of what I ate. But um. We had to talk about the box office this weekend. Apparently, Snow White is continuing to drop in the box office. We also got to talk about the Academy apologizing for not naming No Other Land or its co-director in their statement denouncing attacks on artists. And that happened after, of course, a lot of people who were in the Academy decided to go in and let have on them for not speaking out. Plus, we got to talk about John Boyega, who is calling out the Star Wars franchise and the fandom for their racism. Matthew Lillard is opening up about starring in the upcoming 7th installment of the Scream franchise. We got to talk about Koonye out here wearing a goddamn KKK outfit. Why he talking about he wish he didn't have kids with Kim Kardashian. So we got to talk about that mess because he went over there to academics and was just looking like boo boo the fool. But we also got some good news regarding his album with Apple Music. We're gonna get into that. Plus, Sean Kingston and his mother was found guilty of fraud. We got to talk about that story. Teresa Giudice is being slammed as tone deaf over showing off her luxury closet while owing $3 million. I'm gonna say 300. Could you imagine if she had to owe that much? $3 million in taxes. Lisa Rinna is finally opening up about why she left Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There is a FreeWendy protest going on April 1st. I'm going to let you guys know when and what. Well, you already know when, but I'm going to let you know where. If you are in the Los Angeles or the New York City area. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we got to break down this RuPaul's Drag Race episode, where they had drag baby mamas. Speaking of Drag Race, one of the Drag Race girls is engaged, and we got somebody from Pose who's engaged, and another one from Pose who got married to somebody who actually worked on the set of Pose. So we got to break all that down. There's a lot of marriages and situations going on. Like, even at one point, I was thinking Peppermint done got married, but some people tell me it was for a show. Oh, Survival of the Thickest. I was like, okay, well, it's good to know. But yeah, so we got all of that and a whole lot more. If there is anything, of course, y'all know that pops off during the live stream. That's breaking news. Definitely let me know because when I'm into the show, I focus on the topics at hand and everything else is going on. And I'm trying to stay focused on the show and everything and I don't be trying to multitask because it's impossible when you an army of one and you trying to produce and do everything. You pretty much doing everything on your own show. But before we get to these topics, if you can, please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll also be putting timestamps into the show once the live stream is done, so that way if you don't want to sit through the banter that we do during the live chat, the usuals that come in and a couple of other people come in and out every now and again. We get some newbies, but we always got the regulars that's in here, and I appreciate y'all. But if you want to go through fast forward through the banter and stuff, you can just click right on the topics. It'll be, time stamped and everything. You can just skip right over to it and then get the tea the way it needs to. Or you could just wait until I start editing the hell out of the episode and I put the short little clips up and you can just watch that. So, and also thank you all who continue to tune in and support the show. It is, I definitely appreciate every last one of y'all. Oh, so the whole thing with the food. So my sister gave me this thing. It was like this hot sauce that she made. And I try to stay away from hot foods, but every now and again I get a little craving. So she did give me this jar of it looked like salsa. But I was like, oh, it's not gonna be that bad. Child, when I tell you, because I put that on I had leftover macaroni and cheese. Because when I make macaroni and cheese, apparently when I'm cooking for me, it's like I'm cooking for 12 people. I don't know why, or maybe it's because I hate cooking a lot of times, so I will sit and have leftovers just last a while. And I'll just eat that. I'll just eat that. And a lot of times by the time I'm done with this show, I do not feel like slaving over a stove and cooking. So leftovers is my best friend in a lot of situations. So I put this just a little bit on top of, my food or whatever. Child, when I tell you my mouth is still on fire, They didn't. I mean, and Lord knows I'm afraid of when I got to go do a number two. That's gonna be painful too. Look, it ain't your body is not the same when once you hit the 40 mark, and your body can't retain the same things that it could when we were younger. Cause bitch, when I tell you I be feeling like I'm giving birth, when you be dealing with the stomach pains and when you eat hot foods and all that stuff, child, no, please, Lord, take this pain away. But anyway, let me hit my banner. And I see that we got a lot of comments already, but I'll get to those as soon as I'm done with the first topic. Y'all know the drill, because a lot of times I want to take away from that. You know, we spend so much time going through the comments and bantering that it takes like 30 minutes to get to the topic. So I just want to keep the ball rolling. We're doing something different over here. So far, it seems to be working. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into our first topic and let's talk about it, which it was predicted that Jason Statham's movie, A Working Man, he's a working man, working man, working man. Shout out to Kelly Rowland. It's like that working man was going to kick Snow White's butt at the box office. But now we have a full tally of how much it made, and then we'll just talk about like why I think that the movie did well. So one of the things that was said, and I saw this on the Hollywood Reporter, they said this. They said Middle America is taking charge of the box office with David Ayer's blue-collar drama, A Working Man, beat Snow White in a surprise upset with a better-than-expected domestic opening of $15.2 million from 3,262 theaters. Now I want to stop there because one of the things that irritated me about that line, they were like, Middle America is taking charge of the box office. It's giving me like Trump-isms in there when you said middle America. Like, there's only blue collar people that exist in middle America? Hello. Number one, I went to the movies to see A Working Man on Friday. So I was one of the people that contributed. And last time I checked, I live in New York. So I don't live in middle America. Number two, construction workers, which he plays a construction worker in the show, they're all over. What the hell I got to do with middle America? So I feel like y'all trying to create some type of situation because of the controversy that is surrounding this Snow White movie. And we're going to get into that. But at first, let's get into what Variety had to say in their article. So they said, in a surprise win, Jason Statham's action thriller, A Working Man, topped the box office with $15.2 million its opening weekend. The film from Suicide Squad director David Ayer and Amazon MGM. I should also point out that this is the second, I believe, well, no, not. Well, I'm not sure if this is. I think this is about the second movie they did together. The previous film that they did was The Beekeeper, which was actually pretty good. If y'all have not seen that, definitely check it out. I think it might be on Prime Video. But The Beekeeper, I actually bought it because I was just like, I'm tired of waiting for it to end up on a streaming service. Everybody was talking about how good this movie was. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to just buy it and watch it. And I'm glad I bought it because I enjoyed it. And now we're getting a sequel because it did well at the box office, internationally and domestically, but more so overseas. But anyway, so many said that, yeah, the film knocked down the previous champion, Disney's Snow White, which plummeted by more than 66% in its second outing. Now, after a sleepy 45 million start, Disney's live-action remake of the classic fairy tale has dropped to the number 2 spot with 14.2 million from 4,200 theaters. Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler and the eponymous princess, and Gal Greenstein as the evil queen, has generated 66.8 million domestically and 143.1 million worldwide to date. The tentpole cost above 250 million before factoring in marketing expenses. Well, I don't know what marketing expenses y'all did, because I'm gonna tell you one thing. I saw more marketing, and I don't watch TV, but I do watch a lot of YouTube and things of that nature. I kid you not. Every time I was on YouTube watching a program, I can't tell you how many working man commercials I've seen that were popping up in my timeline. So I'm like, damn, do y'all know what type of stuff I like? So like, they know the demographic they reached out for. I wasn't really seeing a lot of Snow White promotion. Only thing I knew about Snow White was all this controversy that everybody was talking about in regards to Rachel Zegler being problematic because she spoke out against the genocide of Palestinians. And they had a problem with it. And we had that damn tight ass producer that decided to fly out and his son all over Instagram to my father had to leave his family to go chastise and scold the young actress because she had went and said free Palestine. And mind you, this is the same Zionist that made that stupid ass Dear Evan Hansen movie. Who asked for that? Just like who asked for this damn Snow White movie? Anybody asked for that? And why is it this young lady's fault First of all, them dresses looked atrocious, and look at that wig. I've seen better wigs on a pork chop queen on a season of RuPaul's Drag Race. A bitch ain't got no damn money. $5 to her name had better wigs than what y'all put on her. So I feel like y'all dug into your little archives. You wanted to capitalize off of one of your IPs. You really didn't put much effort into it. And y'all thought, oh, let's put this Latina up in there, make her the face, get people all up in an uproar, because that was the way that y'all wanted to. That was like a tool that y'all had in y'all back pocket that you could use to drudge up some controversy and some promotion for your movie. So we're all going to just blame it on Rachel Ziegler, which last I checked, most of the people that did see this movie, and I didn't see this movie because I'm not the demographic. I'm not somebody who gives a fuck about a Snow White, a Cinderella, a Sleeping Beauty. I'm not the demographic for that. Little girls and flaming homosexuals are more or less into that. I'm not really into the whole Snow White thing. I wasn't even into that shit when I was a kid. So, I mean, I watched it because I had a sister. And it was just like when you grew up in the 80s and you had like one TV and you got to watch whatever's on. I watched it, but that wasn't my thing. I told you, my thing was more or less, I was into Thundercats, I was into G.I. Joe, I was into the A-Team, like I was into, that was like my stuff. My sister was more or less into Strawberry Shortcake, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, all of that stuff. So I watched all those little animated cartoons growing up because it was cartoons and it wasn't a big thing about gender or little boys aren't supposed to watch. Like that wasn't a thing back then. It feels like it's more or less a thing now, which I always find weird that people, or maybe I'm just more aware of it because of social media. But when I was growing up, it wasn't a big deal about, oh, well, you can't be playing with this and you can't be, well, there was a big issue about like when I would do stuff to my sister's dolls. Like I would fuck up her Barbies, but, and then I would get in trouble and stuff for that. But for the most part, it was just like, it wasn't a big deal when it came to like gender and all this other stuff, me growing up. Maybe, yeah, like I said before, I'm probably more aware of it now because of social media and everybody's talking about it. So I don't know how other people raise their kids in their households, but yeah, I think because of social media, we're more aware of these things. So y'all want to say blame her, and then all of a sudden Gal Gadot's out here, who of course was in the Israeli army, which I know is mandatory because if you don't serve, you go to jail. So I understand that she was doing all that, but a lot of things she was saying out here was cloaked in a lot of Israeli propaganda and very anti-Palestinian. So that's why people got a problem with her, and people have a problem with y'all putting her in this movie. And this was going on long before she was cast in this film, because people did not like her around the time she did Wonder Woman. And my thing was, I wasn't paying attention to all of that then. Maybe because, all these stories about Zionism and stuff didn't become more of a big deal until what happened in October. I think more people, when that started to come out, that's when more people started bringing it up, and I became more aware of it. And then I started educating myself. And then the whole Melissa Barrera situation, and then it was just like around that time, I became more aware. But before that, it was just like I had so much other stuff that I'm thinking about. I wasn't really like on it in regards to like knowing Gal's past. So I think that's probably why this film did well. Plus, when you look at Jason Statham is that guy that is like, you know what you're going to get when you go see a Jason Statham movie. He's like one of the last standing action heroes. You could put him in a situation, he's like some regular guy who gets caught up in an extraordinary circumstance and is believable because he looks like that everyman type dude, which is why you believe like he could be that character in The Beekeeper. He could be a character in one of those horrible freaking expendable movies, or he does a movie like A Working Man where he's playing a guy who was in the military who got a job as a construction worker, and then the daughter of the people that gave him an opportunity and a job is kidnapped and human trafficked, and then he goes and uses his resources to go bring her back home. Like, you believe that type of story. It's a throwback to a lot of those movies that I grew up watching, from like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and those types. Sidebar, speaking of Sylvester Stallone, I don't know if y'all knew this, but he actually co-wrote the movie A Working Man. So that's a hit on his hands. Now, in regards to his situation, him aligning himself up with this current president, putting that to the side, I am a Sylvester Stallone fan. I, loved a lot of the movies that he did that I grew up watching of his. But, like his politics aside, it's like, yeah, I'm a fan of the films. But to wrap all this up, They said that A Working Man earned mixed reviews, excuse me, and a B grade from CinemaScore. In the film, he plays a decorated military veteran who emerges from retirement after human traffickers kidnap his boss's daughter. The start is slightly behind Ayers and Statham's latest collaboration with Amazon AGM 2024's The Beekeeper, which launched with 16 million. That film ultimately powered its way to a decent 66 million domestically and a respectable 162 million globally. Then they had other movies that came out as well. They had The Woman in the Yard, which I've heard mixed reviews on, and they said that it's the ticket sales currently are at 10.9% behind 2024 and 39% behind 2019. Oh, but it said that Death of a Unicorn and The Chosen Last Supper. I guess that's a TV show about Jesus that apparently they decided to release that in the theaters via Fandom events. Um, two movies I don't actually I kind of want to see Death of a Unicorn. I've heard that it's actually pretty decent. And that what's his name? Damn, I forgot the actor's name. One of the actors in it is really good. I like Jenna Ortega. I like excuse me, Ant-Man, Paul Rudd. So I like the cast. And I definitely want to check it out, but I don't know if I care enough to want to run to the movies to see it. But The Woman in the Yard, I've heard that movie is just not good at all. So I'm not interested in wanting to go see that. So they said, yeah, The Woman in the Yard came in at number 4, collected 9.4 million from a 2,842 cinemas in its first weekend. Danielle Deadweiler stars in it about a family that sees a strange woman in the yard, of course, who delivers an ominous message without explanation. They said that critics and audiences didn't like it. It was given a C- grade on CinemaScore and 39% rotten average on Rotten Tomatoes. And it only cost $12 million to produce, which means that it'll probably make its money back. So this is what A24, and even sometimes with Blumhouse, they'll sit and make these crappy damn movies. And then oh yeah, they know it's bad, but we'll make the money back because it only costs us like 5 million to make or 10 million to produce. And it's like, okay, but y'all sitting out here wasting money. And then what's going to happen is your fan base is going to lose faith in y'all making quality films because we go to you for a specific reason. But now y'all playing in our face. So now I'm not going to sit about here and just support you just because you are, you know, A24, which is Death of a Unicorn, which hasn't gotten bad reviews. Or then you have Woman in the Yard, which I believe is Blumhouse. Now, rounding out the top 5 is Death of a Unicorn with 5.8 million from 3,050 theaters. Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega star as a father and daughter who face unexpected repercussions after they accidentally hit and kill a mythical creature. These ticket sales mark an improvement from A24's prior wide release. And they said the surrealist comedy opus, which grossed a paltry 1.8 million to date. Isn't that the movie with Ayo Edebiri that I heard about? I didn't even know that movie was out, but I think it's already available on digital. Sidebar. Speaking of which, I heard that because CinemaCon is this week. I don't know if y'all know that, but CinemaCon kicks off officially today, and that's like where a lot of the studios go to a big convention in Las Vegas, and they present a lot of their films and the whole theater to basically the theater people. And one of the guys, I forget who it was, but I saw this article. I think it was on Deadline. They said they're trying to change the windows to how long a movie stays in theaters before it goes on digital or streaming or whatever the case is. I'm like, duh. Because first of all, that 45-day window, I don't know who agreed to that, but that is the dumbest thing. And I heard that the one that run the boss that took over from the one I had when I was at AMC, he's against it. I think it's Adam Aaron, I think is his name. He's against it. I'm like, but you agreed to this pre-pandemic. So how are you getting mad? You the one that ushered this in, and now you all upset because your plan that you was like, oh yeah, let's do it. It doesn't work. Like 45 days is not enough for a movie for people to get wind of a film and to get word of mouth and for the movie to accumulate what it needs to accumulate at the box office. You have to give people a moment and a chance to actually go see these films and support it before y'all already quick to like 2 weeks later dump it already on Prime Video where I could see, oh, look, it's out now and I got to spend $25 on the movie to purchase it, which is pretty much in so many ways the price of a ticket. Well, usually now I go to matinees sometimes when it comes to things and there's like a decrease on prices. The ticket be like 14, but of course with tax, you're paying 17 and some change. So I don't mind that because when I went to see A Working Man, I did go to a matinee. So I ended up paying like $17.99 for the ticket. And like I said, I enjoyed the movie. Now, is it as good as like The Beekeeper and those other films? No, but you know what you're gonna get when you go see a Jason Statham movie. So I basically say go see this film, go check it out. Unfortunately, you know, Snow White is not doing well. I know it's easy to sit and blame Rachel Ziegler for Disney's failure, but I think Disney needs to look at themselves and realize like y'all need to come up with some interesting and some new IPs instead of trying to remake everything that is in your previous arsenal. Just because you are creatively bankrupt doesn't mean that you're going to sit and blame it on this girl. Because I feel like it's the same thing y'all did to um Halle Bailey. When y'all decided, oh yeah, let's cast them. Like, you want to really get people all riled up, and they try to act dumb, like they don't know what the fuck they doing over there. Let's cast a black girl to be, a mermaid. Ooh, let's do that. Let's get people pissed off. And then, of course, the white people, the snowflakes come out and say they stuff. And there's nothing wrong with if you want to give us a black mermaid. However, if you're going to do that, then maybe you need to hire some writers that can actually cloak this Ariel, this black Ariel, into African folklore and stuff like that. You got her with a Mexican daddy or whatever. I'm sorry. Or what is Javier Bardem's race? I think he's Spaniard. But anyway, so she got a Latina daddy. She black. Because I don't see no kind of racial ambiguity when I look at a Halle Bailey. She black, just a little light skin or fair skin. But she don't give me like she could be a mixed race black girl. So y'all just thought y'all could just throw all these characters up in here. We're just supposed to ignore like, okay, so where in the lineage is there's some type of relation going on in this whole thing? And then y'all basically just regurgitated what we saw in the previous movies and just live actioned it with the CGI not looking all that great, which is the same argument that a lot of people are having for the Snow White movie. So, Disney people, take your L. Stop always being so quick to blame people like Rachel Ziegler on the fact of why your movie failed, because it's not her fault. And if Daily Mail say that, use that woke word a goddamn sentence one more time, because they be getting on my nerves too. Every time I see something about Rachel Ziegler and Snow White on their tired ass page. Well, y'all just can't wait to put that word in a sentence when it comes to that movie. Knowing full on what the type of propaganda that y'all like to spew over there. But we already know what side y'all lean on. Because based on a lot of those articles over there that come across very pro-Trump, I see y'all. So yeah. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of Snow White dropping real hard at the box office? I mean, I think we kind of knew it was coming. And I've saying before, it's like you can't just blame this young lady on the fact of your movie not doing well, when in reality, it's people say it's just not a good script. Outside of Rachel Ziegler's performance, the movie falls flat. The CGI isn't great. Some of the acting in there isn't great, specifically when it comes to Gal Greenstein. Like, her acting is atrocious, but we all knew that. We knew that she couldn't act her way out of a bloody tampon when she first came up on the scene. But there's no requirement for Shakespearean type acting when you do a Fast and the Furious movie. But when you got to actually deliver a little range like you needed to do in Wonder Woman 1984, and you didn't do that, you couldn't even deliver your lines convincingly in that. That's when you know it's a problem. And I don't care how pretty a bitch is. Like, that pretty goes away real quick when it's like time to deliver your lines. Because like we look at pretty people all day in Hollywood. But if you can't deliver simple lines and kind of convince us that you could be an evil queen, then you should have never been cast as that part. Like I said, excuse me, like I said before, what you should have did was ask Charlize Theron to come back and play the queen, even though she played the queen in Snow White and the Huntsman. You should have had her come back and play the queen. At least she can act as pretty as she is. Maybe Gal need to take some damn lessons, or maybe she's better off going back and joining the Israeli army and go take out a couple more past Palestinians, since that seems to be the only thing her ass is good at. So I'll say all this to say, whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments down below. Now, do Jesus, why all these damn, there's a lot of comments over here, like 41. But anyway, hello. Got my t-shirt for the Kylie concert in 2 weeks. Well, yeah, I'll be seeing her in a couple of days. How you doing, Magical Mermaid? He said the usual crew is up in here, They're coming out saying big studios blacklisted Rachel Ziegler, saying she could. Well, who cares about what they're doing? First of all, you can't blacklist talent because, like I said, Rachel Ziegler can take her behind right over there to Broadway and she'll be successful. She's already about to do Evita, I believe, in the West End, so she'll be good there. So she don't need Hollywood. As long as she got her talent and all other stuff, them Zionists can have the little stupid, keep regurgitating the crap that they want to continue to give us on the big screen. And people will continue to protest by not showing the fuck up. And Disney will continue to lose money and they'll keep pointing the finger until they come to terms being like, it's y'all fault that we are where we are. You can't keep blaming other people, particularly people of color, every time stuff don't go y'all way. And then y'all want to do the bit. See, we did try to be diverse. So we see the game. I see the game you playing. Like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. So they could do all that. They could say whatever they want. Yes, there is a windy protest. We got that as part of the show. Now I got everybody saying Gal Greenstein. We going by her official name. Her last name ain't no damn Godot. A lot of them go and change their last name because then they be like, we're indigenous. Bitch, you ain't indigenous. You wish you was indigenous. Just because you step foot in the place and you think changing your last name makes you indigenous. That's not how that works. That's like my family. My family is indigenous because Native Americans lived in the United States of America. Therefore, and I do have family members that live on reservations. So for them to sit up here and talk about the land is there, no, you're a colonizer. So did he? So how was that? Wait. So was Noah Galvin married to that family, the Platts? I don't even. Why did I not put two and two together? That's why I said they went and made that horrible ass Dear Evan Hansen movie, a movie none of us asked for. So, and talk about nepotism and nepo babies. That's a big old nepo baby. But I always thought that Ben Platt. I don't know how I didn't even put that together. Mark Platt, Ben Platt, they all related. Ben Platt, I always thought was overrated. I never saw interest in him, but that little queen walks up into Broadway thinking she the shit. I was like, every time I see her on my screen, whenever I'm watching the Tonys, I be rolling my eyes so damn hard. I was like, I don't want to look at that bitch. Fuck her. And as I said, leftovers can be dangerous. It was something like rice, beans, and pop. Well, yeah, I wasn't eating that. It was a little mac and cheese. It said, when I make spaghetti and meatballs, I make enough for, yeah, same. I remember I did that. I made me enough spaghetti and meatballs to last me a week. People went to see it people went to see what? People went to see the Jason Statham movie because it wasn't Snow White. Jason was coming in. Well, yeah. Except Jason Statham is more believable when he's doing them fight scenes and stuff. You got Liam Neeson, old ass, and I met Liam Neeson. He is a lovely person, but when it comes down to it, it's just like Liam Neeson when he was doing them Taken movies. Yeah, we believed it, but then all the other movies he started doing, I was like, okay, now you literally are here just making the same damn movie over and over. And in so many ways, that is true for Jason Statham as well. So he may need to push himself a little bit. I'm not saying you need to be Dwayne Johnson. Well, here's the thing. It's funny how him and Dwayne Johnson's kind of in the same boat, but we like Jason Statham more than Dwayne Johnson. Maybe because Dwayne Johnson's annoying. I do like Jason Momoa. Oh, that's another thing. So Minecraft is supposed to be coming out this week, right? I wonder if that movie is good or not. I've heard that it looks bad, but I kind of want to see it. Snow White is made for girls, but let's just say it's one of those ones that people know it will be on Disney. Yeah, and people will most likely wait for Disney Plus. Sidebar, I don't know if y'all know, but I got an alert because I got a Roku that Mufasa is on Disney Plus. I'm like, oh, I might want to watch that. I forgot all about that movie too. Yeah, that's what they're probably waiting on. Is that it'll come to Disney Plus, it'll do well. It's kind of like when people brag, "Oh look, Craven the Hunter is #1 on Netflix." I'm like, Well, duh, it's background noise. Like, you think people gonna pay 20 something odd dollars to go see Craven the Hunter or Madam Web? The same thing with Madam Web. Like, Madam Web did terrible at the box office, but it was like, according to Netflix, it was #1 on their channel. I'm like, well, yeah, it's Netflix. People got Netflix, they're gonna sit and watch it, and they know if it's bad, they can just have it on in the background. It's not like you got to pay attention. I can get on my phone, I can go to the bathroom, I can do all the other things and not be a nuisance to the people that's in the theater. I'm going to be honest. Well, yeah, Disney is not really giving what needs to be given. I also think like Disney Plus is not giving me what I need either. If Deadpool, I mean, not Deadpool, if Daredevil Born Again wasn't on Disney Plus, I would have canceled it. Which I got to catch up on, by the way. Yes, Team Ziegler. I mean, that's why I was like, the more I keep hearing about this, the more I am Team Rachel Ziegler. It's because Snow White has so much CGI. Lilo and Stitch has more real people. You know what? I definitely want to check out the Lilo and Stitch thing. I didn't even watch the trailer. I've been meaning to get around to it, but I didn't know. She the best thing about the movie. That's what everybody keeps saying. Anybody nostalgic for that? And then I feel like it said Chris coming out saying I'm butch, not the femme gay that gets all the representation. Look, I be having my moments. Look, I said I'm a butch queen. However, the fact that y'all always think like, no, all the gays are going to be interested in the Snow White. Like, I didn't care about Snow White. Now, one of the things I will say, not all right, G.I. Joe top, but I will say this, look, when I was a kid, I did love me some Jim and the Holograms. It is truly outrageous. I like that show. I watched Rainbow Bright. I watched the Munchie Cheese. I watched the Smurfs. I watched all of that stuff. And I was into a lot of those shows. Yeah, I was like, I like the Smurfs. The Dwarves was canceled, and nobody was willing to blame Peter Dinklage because he put business. Yeah, that is true. It's like, why is nobody getting on Peter Dinklage? Mind you, Tyrion Lannister was out here bitching and moaning about, you know, well, we're not little people. We're not, doing all that PC shit. It's like, first of all, sir, you are like 4'2", soaking wet. You are a little person. So we can't have dwarfs in a freaking Snow White movie? Yeah, I watched the Care Bears and He-Man. I'm looking forward to the He-Man movie that they got coming out. I can't wait to see what they got doing with that. Jason Statham was what young men need to look up to. Not wait, what? Oh, yeah. Well, as long as we don't know what Jason Statham's political beliefs are, he ain't out here beating on women. I wonder if he's still with Rose Huntington Whiteley, that model. She was also in not Furiosa, the other movie, the Mad Max Fury Road. She was in that. She was the one that got ran over by the vehicle and was pregnant. He been with her for like 100 years. And I think they have a child or children together. In a poll, millennials are the only ones that have negative views of the administration. They saw that millennials are the last generation to be well educated and go to college. Well, we got to pass that knowledge down because we can't afford stupid people continuing to run this damn country into the ground. That is true. Jason Statham is attractive. I've liked him ever since he was in the Transporter movie and followed his career. And I believe once upon a time before he became like this big actor, because I think he started out doing Guy Ritchie movies. Robert Price's favorite director. And yeah, he started doing those films before he graduated and started doing like action and all the other stuff. So, since then they've always put him in like a lot of those big action movies. But the Democrats, because they remember the Bush administration. Well, I don't know who's worse. Well, I think the Trump administration is worse. Isn't Blumhouse basically the owner, writes and directs everything, saying he? Who you talking about? Wait, who is that? Wait, you talking about Jason Blum? I don't think he writes anything. I know he produces a lot, but I don't think Jason Blum is a writer. I've never seen anything written that is in the credits. As long as I watch, maybe I may have missed something, but I've never seen written by Jason Blum. I've seen produced by him and all this other stuff. But No, if we're talking about somebody who that shit, an owner who writes and directs everything, that would be Tyler Perry. Which I heard that movie he got out with Cat Graham that's on Prime Video. People said this movie is terrible. But I'm like, what do you expect from a Tyler Perry movie or anything he does? He does the same crap over and over. You watched The Residence over the weekend and so terrified. Well, what did you think of that? I haven't seen The Residence. I've heard good things, but what did you think about Terrifier 3? Because I know Terrifier 3 is on Screenbox, and I did get the message from Robert. I have to check my email, but he was telling me that the price of Shutter is going up. I'm like, what? Oh no, ma'am, Pam. Because with the tariffs and everything, they jacking up prices. That's all. I can't be out here like paying all this money for streaming services, and they've managed to keep. Why the hell am I getting a message about a New York Turnpike toll increase? I'm like, I don't drive, so let me delete that before I get scammed out of my coins. Speaking of coins, I got to do my taxes, bitch. I'm getting some money back. I'm excited. I was worried too, because for the past 2 years, because my last roommates, he done screwed me up. Like when I was working for for the government and stuff, like I told, for some reason, they said I told him that don't take money out of your taxes. And kind of found out I had to owe money. I'm like, I said, not this time. So when I started working at Madison Square Garden, those other event places, I said, oh no, take your taxes, child. I don't need it. Because I don't want to be out here paying all this damn money every year. Yeah, I agree. Since they didn't show Ariel's mother, we don't know if she was Black, Asian, or what. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, the way they did that movie was just so weird and stupid. Cleveland is in the building. So the Mermaid is in the building. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right, y'all. So let's move on from Jason Statham movie kicking Snow White behind at the box office to the Academy finally issuing an apology for not acknowledging the fact of the abuse that was going on with Hamdan Bilal. I was like, I'm getting tongue tied. Who directed that movie, No Other Land, which I still want to see, but unfortunately, I guess because of the Zionist nation that America has become, that movie is not apparently being shown in the United States. But they thought they was going to do everybody a favor by giving the movie, an Oscar. But then a couple of weeks later, the co-director gets attacked, and the Academy says nothing until a bunch of celebrities jumped on the line and called them out. So the top brass of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Art and Sciences, that would be AMPAS for short, listed an apology on Friday, that would be March 28th, for not mentioning Oscar winner No Other Land co-director Hamdan Bilal for the film by name, in its initial response to his West Bank attack and detention on Monday. So they sent out a statement to its 11,000 members following mounting criticism over its lack of public support for Hamdan Bilal, the Palestinian co-director of the Oscar-winning documentary No Other Land, who was recently detained by Israeli forces. Now, on Friday, the Academy issued a follow-up letter explicitly naming Bilal and apologizing for omitting both him and the film from a statement sent earlier in the week. Saying, quote, on Thursday, we sent a letter in response to reports of violence against Oscar winner Hamdan Bilal, co-director of No Other Land, connected to his artistic expression. We regret that we failed to directly acknowledge Mr. Bilal and the film by name. We sincerely apologize to Mr. Bilal and all artists who felt unsupported by our previous statement and want to make it clear that the Academy condemns violence of this kind anywhere in the world. We abhor the suppression of free speech under any circumstances. Well, I call bullshit on that, but you want to know something? Y'all got to be a little PC. You got to get ahead of it after you got dragged by your constituents. But I call bullshit on your little thing. We condemn all kinds of violence. Really? Because then why are we silencing people who come out and say free Palestine? And then most recently we had Pedro Pascal getting dragged all over social media for calling Rachel Ziegler an icon because of what she's been coming out saying. And he's very much a socialist, where he's going to come out and speak out against the disenfranchised. He has a trans sister, so he's been speaking out against anti-trans rhetoric that has been spewed all over social media and beyond. And he's going in on this fellow brown girl because he is a brown man himself. And don't even get me started on, don't even come up in here in the comments about, well, he light skinned or he look white or that. No, he is still a person of color, regardless of what shade he is. Just like Rachel Ziegler is a Latina, she is a brown person as well. We're talking about ethnic background. We're not talking about people's damn high yellowness. Because if you're looking at me and I'm light skinned, you can say the same shit about me and I'm just as colored as anybody else. Trust and believe. I don't deny no aspect of who I am. So now, Academy CEO Bill Kramer, let me calm down, and President Janet Yang signed the message, which demonstrated the organization's acknowledgement of the magnitude of the outcry from members. So, excuse me. The Academy Board of Governors and top-ranking leadership officials held an emergency meeting Friday morning to discuss how they were going to respond to the backlash. Now, this is actually a scene from the movie. I'm hoping that one of these days I could get a bootleg or something to not be able to see this film. So, the Academy released a statement on Wednesday condemning harming artists, but did not name the individuals referenced. By Thursday morning, a letter began circulating among campus members criticizing leadership's failure to defend Bilal publicly. As of Friday afternoon, 690 Academy members, including actor Mark Ruffalo, who has always been outspoken in a lot of political spaces as well. We had director Ava DuVernay and Oscar-winning filmmaker Alfonso Cuarón had signed the letter condemning the Academy's silence following Bilal's reported detainment by Israeli authorities. And also you have Joaquin Phoenix signed it, Penelope Cruz, also I believe Susan Sarandon signed it as well. So they said, we stand in condemnation of the brutal assault and unlawful detention of Oscar-winning Palestinian director Hamdan Bilal by settlers and Israeli forces in the West Bank. To win an Oscar is not an easy task. Most films in competition are buoyed by wide distribution and exorbitantly priced campaigns. For no other land to win an Oscar without these advantages speaks to how important the film is to the voting membership. The targeting of Bilal is not just an attack on one filmmaker, it is an attack on all those who dare to bear witness to tell inconvenient truths. And that's why I was loving the fact that, yeah, there was a couple of people who sat their fat asses up in them damn chairs when they got up and won that Oscar. And I love the fact that we had some celebrities who stood up and gave it up for them, especially Guy Pearce, who went and gave his, tipped his hat and them to them. It was gave him a little pat on the back and all those stuff, saying congratulations, that sort of thing. So now the letter drew support from international film organizations and notable Academy members across various branches, in addition to documentary filmmakers such as Alex Gibney, Errol Morris, Laura Poitras, Liz Garbus, and Roger Ross Williams. Signatories included actors Olivia Colman, Joaquin Phoenix, Riz Ahmed, Penelope Cruz, Emma Thompson, Natasha Lyonne, Javier Bardem, Sandra Hüller, Richard Gere, Andrea Riseborough, and Susan Sarandon. And then, of course, in addition to Ava DuVernay, who was a director, we had other directors who jumped in as well, such as Boots Riley, Todd Haynes, Adam McKay, Jonathan Glazer, and Jim Jarmusch, also, called for accountability. So I love the fact that we had a lot of people in Hollywood who's like, you know what? At some point, we can't all just sit up here and worry about our jobs and our livelihood. That, yeah, if the reason why we speak and we do the artistic stuff that we do is because we want to be a voice for the voiceless. And that's what I could have sworn that getting into the art space was about. It should be about expressing yourself. It should be about calling out or being a reflection of the things that are going on in the world and showing a mirror of that. Because if the media is not going to show it, if the news is not going to show it, a lot of people tend to get their information from documentaries, from movies, from TV shows. I can't tell you how many times, when you watch reality television, right? And a lot of people's like, well, I've never encountered a trans person or anybody in the LGBTQ community, a black person, whatever, any kind of a other outside of the status quo and the norm, which would be considered white people. Whenever they see others in other situations, or in other, facets of the entertainment world, people's eyes open up to the fact that, yeah, there are other people outside of what my little bubble is that I'm being exposed to. So we need the arts. We need these type of situations where people could be able to express themselves. Now, the one thing I don't like, especially about this industry, is that when you speak out against the atrocities, when you want to hold up a mirror to showing like the overall Zionism from some Israeli people, that it's like they want you canceled, they want you fired, they want your life to just be null and void. And it's like, your opinion is your opinion. My opinion is my opinion. But if I'm going to go and present the truth, don't get mad at the goddamn truth. Maybe you need to chastise your people for the things that they're doing to the other people. And stop thinking that your trauma stuff or whatever's going on in your life and with your people is more important than those other people over there. And that's the thing that always irritates me about ignorant people, bigots, and all that stuff, like why we continue to say about Zionism. What happened to y'all is not greater than what is happening to other people. Violence is not good on either side. So for you to sit up here and be like, well, we want the West Bank, we want Palestine, we want Gaza, we want all of this stuff because it is ours. We were owed this. We were given it like 4,000 years. No, just like we ain't getting that goddamn 40 acres of the mule. Y'all don't want to give us that shit. You ain't getting that either because they don't belong to you. But the 40 acres of the mule, that was promised to us, but people ain't giving it. But with y'all don't know, this is not y'all shit. You can't just come up in here and start colonizing stuff. And that just seems to be the ongoing thing that happens in our countries a lot, especially when we want to talk about the genocide, indigenous genocide. We need to get into that in America. How this damn country was colonized from indigenous people. So y'all want to sit up here and talk about, and I know this is jumping the subject, y'all want to talk about that, y'all want to send people back to their countries. Well, these people that's making these decisions, y'all can leave too, because America is not yours. It belongs to the indigenous people. So if the indigenous people really want to rise up and tell you motherfuckers to get out, oh, it could be done. But they'd have to find the time to do it. So yeah. So to wrap all this up, because they were trying to say, the Israeli soldiers and settlers were sitting there trying to say that they were trying to, I guess, clean it all up in regards to what happened to Hamdan Bilal. But then we have the other co-director, Yuval Abraham, who took to social media to report on what happened when Hamdan was attacked near his home in the West Bank of Susia, where he was assaulted and then taken from an ambulance by Israeli soldiers. He was blindfolded and held for 24 hours at an Israeli army base before being released. And when Yuval came out and spoke about it, and he condemned, because we talked about it on the show before all of this came out, how he went in on the U.S. Academy for not supporting Hamdan. He wrote this on Twitter. He said, while Hamdan was clearly targeted for making no other land, and they were trying to say, oh, no, that's not why we did it. And I said, that's some BS. Even when I was reading the article, before they even can get to all the statements and stuff, I was like, this is a retaliation, because they won the Oscar 3 weeks ago. He goes back to his home, and them people in that neighborhood was a bunch of damn haters. So, oh, you Hollywood now. Oh, you exposing what's going on in our country. Why can't he make the world aware of what's happening with his people by being on the ground? Like, there was a story, and I wish I remember the guy's name, the young reporter who was like, he wasn't leaving. And he was like 23 years old, real cute. Because he was in the car and this little girl was like, oh, I heard that, that you weren't going to be around anymore. That something happened to him. And he was like, no, I'm here and everything. He had a little press vest on, like the bulletproof vest and everything. And then come to find out he was assassinated, I think like last week, him and his family. And hearing that story, I'm just like, I applaud those people that actually put their lives on the line so that way their stories are told, because the media is not going to tell you. Everybody else is not going to tell you. They're going to always try to suppress your right to free speech, or they're going to try to suppress your story. But those brave people who have the cojones that actually go out there and be boots on the ground and fight for what they believe in, because they want their people to be free, and they want these people, the lack of oppression and all that other stuff. I tip my hat to all of y'all. And it's always sad to hear these type of stories. So yeah, I did not believe in one second when they was like, yeah, when they tortured him, he even confirmed that he said the soldiers joked about the Oscar. So they knew what they were doing. They targeted him. This wasn't just some random dude they picked up. They knew exactly what the hell they were doing. So this is the stuff that makes me angry. But yeah, it was just like, I just had to let you guys be aware of what's going on in regards to this whole story and how it's wrapped up since then. So yeah, we can move on from it now because I feel like I got all I need to say out. But I want to hear from you all. What did you guys think of this story and the latest in regards to the Academy apologizing for not bringing up No Other Land? I feel like they only, apologized and made a statement because they were called out. If nobody made a peep about it, if there wasn't a lot of people who signed those signatures and spoke out about it and went in and let have on their behind, it would have been business as usual. But we see how you are. Hollywood just loves running on fear and worrying about when they're going to get their next, or if they say the wrong thing, they're going to end up canceled. They're going to end up blackballed or whatever the case is. But look, if you can't stand for something, then I guess, those people will just fall for any old thing in the world. And I can't trust nobody like that. You got to have some kind of something to stand on in this world instead of just running around, just going along to get along, keeping your head in the sand as the world just happens around you. I just don't get people like that. But everybody ain't got, everybody's not strong, I guess. So I want to hear from you all, whatever your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments down below. Oh, let me see, because I was like, I had to come up with a couple ones. Oh, you say you like the Terrifying movies? Yeah, they're funny. Shout out to David Howard Thornton. That third one, I mean, that four. Wait, how many movies we got? Oh, three. Terrifying 3 was just gross. I did go to the movies to see. Well, y'all already know I went to the movies to see that. Brown Bunny's in the building. You said and The Resistance was good. It's a murder mystery with some. Oh, isn't that the one with Kylie Minogue? I need to get around to watching that. He said the Academy removed Jonathan Glazer's acceptance speech from YouTube and the Zone of Interest winning Best Foreign Film since he mentioned the. Yeah, of course. That's why I said he all full of shit. We know exactly the type of Zionism that runs around in Hollywood. And it continues to confirm the fact that people keep saying, and they get mad when you say it, well, I get Jews run Hollywood. And it's like, well, if you wasn't trying to prove people wrong, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it just seems like you say anything where you want to actually give, call people out on what's happening. It's proven that, yeah, y'all are running things in a lot of places. So if you don't want to be pegged with a stereotype, stop reinforcing it. It's that simple. Oh wait, hold on. I said American Idol. Well, child. First of all, you bringing up American Idol's ratings are so low. Now I want to ask y'all this. Before Carrie Underwood appeared up on there with her genocide, Trump leaning ass, decided to go up on there on that show. Even if she never performed the inauguration, even before all of this other stuff came out, do y'all really, are people out there actually still watching American Idol? Like, I don't know anybody that watches that show. Like I told y'all, the last time I watched American Idol was when David Archuleta was on it. That was the last season. After that, I'm like, I'm so aged out of this show. Like, I don't care who wins the show. Like, this whole format, it just didn't have the same thing that, at the height. Once I feel like, you know what, maybe it changed around the time when like Simon Paula and Randy left. It just wasn't the same. It's like, yeah, y'all brought in people. It's like, okay, first of all, Cara Deleguardi, or how the fuck say her damn name? Where is she? Then remember the infamous season. Y'all had Ellen non-singing ass on there judging singers. Then y'all decided to bring Nicki Minaj. And just because you can do a little yang yang in the studio with some auto tune, do not make you a singer. Hence, also, why did they have Jennifer Lopez on there? But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So some of the choices y'all was picking of judges just didn't work. But we did love that drama between her and Mariah. So I think that's probably why we kind of just let that go. But for the most part, it was just like, yeah, it just wasn't giving. And even this season, it's like Luke Bryant, boring. Lionel Richie, You know, I grew up listening to his music. My mother bought a lot of Lionel Richie records, so I know who he is. Snooze fest. And then Carrie Underwears. I don't care about that broad. I didn't care about when her ass was on America Idol. It's like, Jesus, take her wheel and ram it into somebody's brick wall, because I don't care about her. I don't care about her music. I could care less if she was on America Idol. And they thinking that it's going to be some type of thing to make the show more great by having a bunch of Nepo babies on the show. But who the hell cares about what the hell's his name? Who cares about Brian Luttrell's son and all that other mess? But you said, I commend all these signatories, all the great talent on the right side of history. Exactly. And those are the ones that always get caught out, get in trouble. Because remember when Susan Sarandon got dragged for, going to those pro-Palestine protests, they were trying to cancel her. But she's got an iconic career. You can't cancel her. Okay. We shared a diss aimed at Barry Keoghan. I was like, who out here dissing him? What he do? The issue of our times is not complicated, quite simple. Actually, the truth is that it is a military occupation. Yup. Pure retaliation. Keep talking about this because the situation is escalating. Well, of course. I stay up on here talking about pro-Palestine stuff. I don't see many other pundits. They I want to stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. Go ahead, but the difference between me and other pop culture pundits, I engulf myself in a lot of politics. Like even when I'm putting my show together, like I kid you not, I'm spending like hours watching a lot of political videos from pondering politics, and I was watching Hasanabi earlier. I forgot how cute he is. First of all, you know what was funny about Hasanabi? He did there was, what was it? The Austin from the Austin show. So he went to the GLAAD Awards. Austin is a mess. He went to the GLAAD Awards and he was asking everybody on the red carpet, do y'all know who Hasanabi is? And that was cackling. The one that actually was like, yeah, I know who he is. And if you into they, thems or whatever gender, that was Morphine. Was like, she knew who Hasanabi was. He said, oh yeah, in this administration, we got to pick a gender, which I did laugh at. But yeah, that was funny. So, because, Hasanabi, and that's why I kind of knew Hasanabi from where he was on, he would do a lot of Austin show. And then he went off and did his own thing. And I love the fact that we got that other channel imploding, the Young Turks. He said they need to leave, but some feel leaving isn't an option. But where they gonna go? And y'all, you keep like in the middle of the night when they got tents and stuff, you blowing their stuff up. Where they gonna go? You pushing them around like it's not like these people being treated literally. They're getting moved around like how like an anorexic or a bulimic moves food around a damn plate when they fall. Like that, you can't just keep moving people around like that. I just saw the documentary. David told me and that Damien said him to not wait. Were you saying that Damien told him to not speak on politics? Look, okay, well then maybe you need to kill an Elon type in your next movie to clean up those accusations that you might be a Trumper. Because that's how some people feel about Damien and Leone, especially not coming to two of your biggest stars' defense. Remember once upon a time the show did end and they decided to bring it back? The show did end at one point. It's like, okay, out of sight, out of mind. And then they decided to bring the damn show back. It's like, but why? And then of course they bring back Ryan Seacrest as if his ass don't have enough jobs. Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, we talked about that the Nepo season. It's just like, yeah, none of y'all people like Brian Luttrell's son, Carney Wilson's daughter, all these other celebrities you got coming on there. It's like you can help your kids get a record deal, but and it could be cute or whatever. They make it to the finale and one of them wins. That's great, but is that going to accumulate to record sales? And I don't think so. This is like what Cleveland says: the winners don't get anywhere. So the juice ain't worth the squeeze to even go on an American Idol because it's like, is an American Idol type show helping careers today? I don't think so. I don't even think it's been helping people's careers over at The Voice. So these shows are just not interesting. And the funny thing is, the Voice is now what American Idol is. The Voice is like, okay, people clearly watch the show for the celebrities that's on there, and turn around and cheer who they gonna pick. I never could get into the Voice. They basically said they won't do the auditions who can't sing because it's a different culture and we don't want to do something. Well, yeah, they can't because we got all those kids, especially the ones that came out, still coming out against how toxic America's Next Top Model was. If you do that to this new generation, they will not know how to handle it. People will get on social media, but you're so mean. And it's just like, oh my God, you people are so annoying. So this is rather just not, right? But it was a different time when we kind of were entertained by that. And I guess probably because, in those days we didn't have social media. So we were entertained by, okay, let's put the worst singers up on and they're delusional. And, you got Simon being mean, and then Randy would just come up with his, follow right behind like the follower. And then Paula would try to find the silver lining. It said Carrie was the last one to have any kind of real career. Adam Lambert didn't win, but yeah, because he just finished performing at Cabaret. Not Chapel Moan. It's easy to stay alert. Art is political and music. She just gives me conservative vibes and is afraid of losing her career. Well, if you're not good at doing the whole speaking out, then I feel like some people shouldn't. I think a lot of people try to act like they could be revolutionary. They could be like that, take that Madonna approach to their career. But if you don't have it in you to do that, then don't do it. Or at least wait until you get more informed and politically and then speak out. But and I guess this is the worst time because like in the era of social media where people are growing up in that social media space, it's hard for them to kind of like just come in and make a mistake and us move on. It has to constantly live on forever. That's why, I think a lot of the artists that came up back in the day, y'all are real lucky. I even say for me, I'm real lucky that I was able to grow up at a time where I didn't have social media, that social media wasn't a thing that scrutinized every move. If I got into a fight after school, we fought. They talked about it the next day. We all moved on. It wasn't recorded because we didn't have camera phones. We didn't have any of that stuff. Now you have to constantly live with, stuff being on social media. Or if you get bullied, you only deal with that up until 3 o'clock. And then you go home and then whatever. But then you don't have to deal with it constantly where people get your phone number, people find your Facebook, people find your TikTok, your Twitch, your whatever, and they bullying you still. So it's an ongoing situation. So in a way, I feel for a lot of this younger generation, the way y'all have to be raised in this computer, this in the matrix, I guess is what I'll call it. That's what it seemed like. Only the judges get a bump in sales. Because it's like, how are you helping these kids? I don't think you are. But anyway, child, let's move on because there's like a lot of drop. We just going in. We just going in on Hollywood today because we just had 3 stories where we were just dragging Hollywood in so many ways. But let's keep it going because let's call out Disney on their damn racism. Since we already did that with Snow White. But then let's do it with Star Wars because Disney want to sit and buy every damn thing up. So there's a show that's on Apple TV Plus. Honestly, I was not going to get around to watching it. I was like, I don't know if I want to see it. I've been seeing a lot of the trailers. It's called Number One on the Call Sheet, and I know they speak to like Will Smith, Angela Bassett, so many other celebrities. But one of them I did not know they were going to be speaking about was John Boyega. And when they spoke with him, he opened up about his time of being in Star Wars and the overall racism that he had to endure while playing Finn, I think was his character's name, in those Star Wars movies, which I don't like any of them. Well, I actually liked The Force Awakens. I don't like the other two. I didn't like The Last Jedi, and I damn sure didn't like The Rise of Skywalker was just awful. But let's get into it. So, John Boyega called out Star Wars for being so white during an interview as part of the new Apple TV original documentary, Number One on the Call Sheet, Black Leading Men in Hollywood. This was, and shout out to Entertainment Weekly for this. So he debuted as Finn, and okay, so I was right because I was like, I think his name was Finn. It's been so long since I've seen those movies. So yeah, his role in the sequel trilogy led to online harassment from racist and toxic Star Wars fans upset with a black actor playing a lead hero in the space franchise, which I always found weird because Y'all will accept all kinds of Jim Henson's Creature Shop passing off as aliens, but you won't accept a black man being a lead character in a franchise that's not even a superhero franchise, but a franchise that's based off of science fiction. Like, make that make sense. Like, and I could have sworn that science fiction was always about exploring different races, genders. Like, they were very much open-minded with that. Even with Star Trek, like, when you look at Star Trek has always been pretty much open-minded in that whole context. But then, of course, you get these racist morons who really don't I guess maybe y'all just sit staring at the TV and don't retain the information that comes from what y'all are watching. That you don't really pay attention to what you're watching. Like, you just sit and look at shit and just be like, oh, that looks interesting, but are you actually paying attention to the story? And no shade of George Lucas, but he was not a he wasn't a good writer when it came to the dialogue. Nerve herder? Like, what the hell does that even mean? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because that line was in the New Hope. But anyway, let's get into it. So he said, let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite space. It's a franchise that's so white that a black person existing in it was something. This is what he said in the documentary. You can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and we had Samuel L. Jackson. For those of you who don't know, Lando Calrissian was played by Billy D. Williams. And then we had Samuel L. Jackson. What was his character name? Mace Windu, I think it was. Look at me try actually remembering names. Because I know how I be struggling out here on the struggle bus. And I'm like, what's that person's name? And it's like, but today I guess the brain is working. So they say it's like me telling how many cookie chips are in the cookie dough. It's like they just scattered that in there, bro. They're okay with us playing the best friend, but once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's just a bit too much. They're pandering. This is what he said, while also acknowledging that being cast in the franchise was a fundamental moment in his career. And to add on that, they're pandering. Oh no, their favorite word is woke. They love it. Oh, they trying to be woke. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Because whoa, 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 whoa. Like that's the main thing y'all want to run up and use as a crutch or as a weapon. When last time I checked, woke was about being aware of things that are going on in disenfranchised communities, especially when it comes to black folks, because woke is a black term that came out eons ago. I believe in like the 1920s or 30s, if I'm not mistaken. So it was like, be aware, be woke, or stay woke. That's what it was. But like, so if there was anything that was going on where white people were doing things to black folks, it was a warning for black folks to just be vigilant and aware of things that was going on from the racists. That's what woke means. So whenever y'all try to throw in any kind of diversity, which we always welcome, it's not just people of color, but women, LGBTQIA plus people. We just want, at the end of the day, and I can speak in this whole situation because I am a person of color. We just want to see some type of representation of ourselves on the screen. That's it. We're not up in here trying to be like, well, we need a black Han Solo. Like, even I would be against that. I'm like, no, we can create our own character. Just like y'all trying to do the whole thing with a black James Bond. No, we can do our own Bond. And you white people can keep your little misogynistic, super spy. Y'all can keep that. We can come up with our own thing. But it's like whenever they want to show any kind of diversity, y'all get upset. So I agree with him on that, because it's not only just with black folks, it's with women, and it's with LGBTQIA plus people. The minute we had like a gay superhero, y'all gonna have a problem with it. But you love when we up in there being your secretary, we the nanny or the manny to your children, that we are the receptionist, that we the comedy relief. You're okay when we playing a secondary character. You're okay when we playing a sidekick. But when we actually want an opportunity to be number one on the call sheet, hence the name of the show or the documentary, y'all got a problem. But here's the thing. Why are you mad? Everything, and I've come to learn this in life, maybe because it was the way I was raised, but everything isn't for everybody. Just like I was talking about earlier with Snow White. I'm not the demographic. So why am I upset over this movie because y'all have Rachel Ziegler playing Snow White? It's not for me. First of all, I'm a grown-ass man. What the fuck I care about a goddamn Snow White? Unless, if you got a family with kids, but it's for the kids. That's what you should be thinking about in your brain. But if you're a grown-ass heterosexual male bitching about a Snow White movie, we need to get you to see a therapist and get you on some medication. Because why are you so mad about that? It's the same thing with these incels that be on social media. But y'all wasn't just going in on John Boyega. You went and dragged Kelly Marie Tran to the point where she had to quit social media. So I'm glad he spoke out on this. But I'm like, before we wrap this up, what else did he say? Because he also brought up Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver. So let's continue what he said. But this isn't the first time that he brought this up. He did bring this up in an interview with GQ magazine in 2020, saying that Disney fumbled the diversity in the Star Wars trilogy, which they did. And I will say this: I like where they were going with Finn in The Force Awakens. Once we got to the other movies, it just sort of like he just became like this window dressing. Y'all didn't know what to do with him. You kind of just put him in the back seat. And his character just wasn't working out. Like, I like the dynamic. Like, I love the chemistry and the dynamic that was between him and Oscar Isaac. There was even things that I was hoping they was actually going to go with it, because I was like, the energy is kind of going that direction. Like, people were even shipping Finn and Oscar Isaac's character. I was like, could y'all make them like a couple or something? I know the kids, the Star Wars fan, the incel, the one that's already mad that he black, that we got a black person in the lead. They would have really shit their pants if they would have made two people of color in the film homosexuals and of color. But wait a minute, didn't they have gay characters in the movie? I think it was in the last one, The Last Jedi, but it was like reduced to like some little cameo situation. Because, the minute they want to show, oh yeah, we're being diverse, we're being different, we're being open-minded, then they know the backlash is coming. So then they just cut it down to the point of like a Coco Peru in that new series that they got over on Hulu with Nathan Lane. Where it's like, damn, I had filmed all this shit, and then all of a sudden I'm reduced to like being in the background where you see the back of my head in some room. That's what it was reduced to. And Disney has been notorious for doing that with a lot of their queer characters. So it kind of irritated me in that way, where it's like y'all just reduced his character down to nothing by the time we got to The Last Jedi. So that was my overall irritation. So yeah, speaking of Kelly Marie Tran, he did bring it up. He said, you guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley. You knew what to do with Adam Driver. But when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, fuck all. That's how the Brits talk, because he is English. So what do you want me to say? What do you want? What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I'll take the deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest. Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody knows. I'm not exposing anything. So yeah, they knew. That's why I said I call BS on it. And the funny part is, when you are a person of color, we see through the BS. Everybody else can sit up there and paint you and piss on your leg and tell you it's raining and paint you this picture, this little Hollywood standard, typical, situation. But it's like, I look through and it's like, it's a bunch of BS. I can see right through it. We've been trained to see through the BS because we've been having to deal with the BS majority of our lives. When it comes to when you're in a situation where you're thinking you're pushing through, and we're getting to a place where we're being more diverse, where it doesn't feel performative, where it feels like it's a natural progression. This is why we need people of color and so many other races, genders, sexual orientations in powerful positions, so we can get these things pushed through, so we can get to see a lot of these awesome characters that you would want that little kid that's sitting at home being like, you know what, I want to be like Finn. I want to be like that character. I want to be like Lando Calrissian. And it's like, yeah, when I was growing up, I wanted to be Han Solo, but we didn't see a lot of those. We didn't see characters that I could relate to growing up that I would aspire to be. It's kind of like when we had Black Panther. That energy, that movement, that feeling that we got when we saw Black Panther on the big screen and so many little kids wanted to be him. That's what you want to aspire to. That's why when you see people who are different, when you see young girls who look up to Wonder Woman, not Gal Greenstein, but Wonder Woman. When people sit up there and look up to Brie Larson, where she was playing Captain Marvel, or you see people who look up to Gamora, you see people who look up to Black Widow, or all these other characters. When you see those young girls that look up to those other superhero characters and aspire to be that for Halloween or whatever the case is, or you see that indigenous kid that wants to go as Namor, which I know a lot of my friends who went as Namor for Halloween and the Comic-Con and some of the other things. You want to have, that's why we have those diverse moments. And I feel like if you can't open your eyes and your mind to look at that, then you're just being ignorant. And that's fine. If you want to go be ignorant. But I'm just pointing out that just try to look at things from different sides. So he also went and said, to wrap this up, he revealed to the Hollywood Reporter that a Disney executive reached out to him following his GQ interview and said, he had a very honest, very transparent conversation with the Disney executive and said there was a lot of explaining on their end in terms of the way they saw things. They gave me a chance also to explain what my experience was like. I'd hope that me being so open with my career at this stage would help the next man, the guy who wants to be the assistant DOP, the guy who wants to be a producer. I hope that the conversation is not such a taboo or elephant in the room now because someone just came and said it, which is basically what I was alluding to, of why when people look up to certain superheroes and when you want to get into that place of power, whether you're going to be that next executive or you want to be a producer, because there needs to be more of us out here so that we can get those films or whatever that idea that you have pushed through and get greenlit. So in case y'all didn't know, or if you are interested, I should point out that number one on the call sheet, if you do have Apple TV Plus, definitely check out number one on the call sheet, Black Leading Men in Hollywood. It is up there. I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. I'm definitely going to go check it out. So I'm going to try to see if I can watch it this week. But if you have seen it, definitely let me know what your thoughts are on it. And if you plan on seeing it or anything regarding this topic, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. All right, y'all. Oh, you said the new episode of Hollywood Demons about child stars who grow up to be violent. Oh, that's the one that's going to have Zachary Ty Bryan on it. Oh, so what are they airing it every week? I thought they were. Oh, yeah, they probably are because I think each episode is 2 hours, so that makes sense. And you said, yes, I know the hate, the entire fandom being generalized as racist, but it's much easier, especially for online communities. Yodi says the nerdrotic geek gamers side of the toxic fandom all wanted Poe and Finn to be the leads after episode 7. They talked a lot about Finn being an interesting character with a lot of room to grow. That's what I was saying. Like, I liked his character in the film. I like Finn. I like Poe. I saw that in the first movie that the direction they were taking it. And I was like, why didn't they further go with that? So it's like y'all dropped the ball. I don't know if it was the writers, the directors. I don't know what the hell was going on. But also, Kathleen Kennedy, I need her ass to step down because she don't know what the hell she's doing over there at Lucasfilm, especially in regards to these Star Wars movies. How many Star Wars movies have they greenlit only for them to not get made? I also forgot to bring up, they didn't just go in on John Boyega and Kelly Marie Tran. Remember, they went and dragged Amandla Sternberg or Stenberg, how the hell you say her damn name. So when she went over there and did the Acolyte, they dragged her because they didn't like the fact that they had this young girl of color who's also a homosexual to be in that show. So they should have established that character more. They say he left out. Wait, no, well, he probably left it out, but no, his character was. I mean, Lando was mentioned in the article. However, if you're talking about John Boyega, yeah, he didn't mention his name. The U.S. used to be, and in many ways still is, an ethno-supremacist state, just like the occupation that one. Child, they ain't the truth. When it comes to Star Wars, this comment floored me to death. The fans allowed Luke Skywalker, Leia, and Han Solo to be the entire. Yeah, that was another thing that I wanted to bring up too. That I should have brought up in the story. But now that you brought it up, we'll talk about it. The fact of the matter is, it's supposed to be they say long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hence, can we focus on the galaxy part and realize that the Skywalker and Solo people are not the only ones that exist in the Star Wars galaxy. There's so many stories that could be told in this galaxy that y'all could be focusing on instead of focusing on Luke and Leia and freaking Han Solo and them. Now we have to make this, we have to attach them some sort of way. So it was kind of like they were doing like this legacy trilogy type thing where it's like, yeah, we have to have this person is the kid of Han and Leia, and this one is related to this one. This one is related to the Emperor. It's like, oh my God, y'all are annoying me. It's like everybody don't need to be related to somebody. Just tell a damn story that's in the Star Wars universe. I feel like if you're a Star Wars fan, if it's good, people will come and support it. Like we did with Andor. Like we did, well, I actually liked the movie that's based on Andor, the Andor series. But I mean, there's been little things here and there that have been good, but for the most part, I do agree. It's like everything is not about Luke, Leia, and Han Solo. We need to move on from them. Stop cucking yourselves to that specific story. But this younger generation, they're not aware. I mean, yeah, I would be because I grew up watching those movies. You said children aren't inherently racist. No, of course not. That's a learned behavior. Racism, homophobia, xenophobia, transphobia, any kind of phobia, any kind of bigotry, that's all taught. Nobody wakes up in the morning and becomes that way. Especially when we get to that damn Kanye story. It's like, yeah, homophobia and racism are taught. Oh, please don't even get me started on did y'all see that one with was Byron Allen, that heifer out here talking about lock the doors until people pay their tithes to him and just put a little stunt taking money out of his little money clip and threw it in there. I said, he gonna dig in that shit right after the damn thing is over and take his amount back. He said, oh, I read that already. It said, like my dad is homophobic, not like he was when I was younger, but him saying he tolerates me because I would hate somebody to say that to me. Oh, you tolerate me because you're my child. But it's like, I don't need you to tolerate me. Respect me. Because you said that shit to me. It's like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Because I always have that in the back of my head. Like, it's like, so you only like me because I'm your kid, but you can't just accept every aspect of who I am. And me being a homosexual is just a piece, just a little piece of who I am. It's not all of who I am. It's a piece. But you just saying like, you making it like it's all of me. But it just goes to show like, you know what? You don't know me at all. He said that to me like, yeah, and that's like recent. So that would even really make me upset. My gay ass has Apple TV. Yeah, I got an Apple TV. Look, I told y'all I am like the FOMO king. I literally have every damn streaming service under the sun because I just have a fear of missing out on stuff. So I have to have like every streaming service. They had great chemistry and energy. Sad they, yeah, exactly. They definitely dropped that ball, which annoyed me. No Latino age representation either. Yeah, they should be more upset. I mean, wait, Latino president. It was Oscar Isaac. He was the Latino representation, and the Asian representation was Kelly Marie Tran. So there was some representation. The people was mad. Well, they wasn't really mad at Oscar Isaac because Oscar Isaac looked like he white, but I think he's Peruvian. And then of course we have Pedro Pascal, who is wait, what is Pedro Pascal's ethnicity besides fine? Yeah, Rogue One, thank you. Because I cannot remember the name. I was like, Rogue One. Yeah, I like Rogue One. They said the only reason I have any relationship with him is because my mom is still. Well, damn, your mother's still with him? Oh yeah, she did say that. Was that in Bossy? Was that the line in that song? It said, if my mom wasn't with him, I'd never talk to him again. You said Oscar Isaac can And you know him, first of all, you know they best friends, by the way. Okay, he's Guatemalan. And Pedro is Chilean. Well, I know he was from Chile because he's always talking about it, and he always talks about the different foods and things. Because I told you I was watching a YouTube video with him and Happy from the MCU movies. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know him as Happy. Who used to work for Iron Man. But anyway, so they were doing like something where they were trying like different foods and all this other stuff. And he was giving, he was talking about like all the Chilean foods and all the other stuff, which had me relatively interested. So That's how I knew like what his ethnic background was. But yeah, it was like I forgot what Pedro's main Oscars was. But yeah, Guatemalan. He's still I mean, Guatemalan, Peruvian, Colombian, whatever. He's still fine. So you said both face, not both face sitters. I'd rather a face sitter than a face hugger. You know, shout out to the Alien franchise. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get into this Scream news. So Matthew Lillard is speaking out. One of the things I'm still upset about is the fact that Radio Silence, Spyglass, because you know Radio Silence is producing it. Spyglass, all of y'all. I'm still upset that y'all even revealed like y'all bringing some of the dead characters back into the franchise. But now that we know, Matthew Lillard is speaking on it, and I also think they wrapped Five Nights at Freddy's, which I'm hoping and praying that movie does not suck. The first one was all right. I watched it because it came out simultaneously in the theaters and in Peacock. I watched it on Peacock, and I liked it because I like Josh Hutcherson. The movie wasn't bad to me, and I like Matthew Lillard. So I'm hoping that the second one is much better. But anyway, so they said that, yeah. The big news for Scream 7 is that Matthew Lillard is returning to the franchise for the first time since Wes Craven's original slasher back in the 90s. But we still have no idea how Lillard and his long deceased character Stu Macher will be returning to the fold. Now, as for Lillard himself, well, he's definitely concerned about messing with the original movie's beloved legacy. So joining original castmates David Arquette, Jamie Kennedy, wait, hold on. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. When did they say Jamie Kennedy's coming back? But I read it wrong. So they said joining original castmates David Arquette, Jamie Kennedy, Dermot Mulroney, and Skeet Ulrich earlier today at Hartford's 90s Con, held at the Connecticut Convention Center. Lillard spoke on a panel moderated by People about his fear of ruining the seminal horror movie's legacy upon its possible resurrection. Saying, I will say, I can't say anything about it, obviously, but I'm very excited and slightly terrified to be back because all I can do is really screw up a legacy that we have. The Scooby-Doo actor continued. He said, I could really suck. So that's my fear. My fear is that I come back and sort of punish something that I could never have touched and been just fine. I hope I don't F it up for everyone. Now, the movie y'all already know came out in 1996. He appeared as one of the two killers, which of course, you know, Skeet Ulrich was the other killer who was Sydney's boyfriend. And then you had Stu and Billy Loomis, who were the co-killers in the original movie. Now, the last time I checked, he got a big old fatback TV dropped on his face. And I don't know how you survive that, but we'll see how they bring him back in this new movie. I'm still a little skeptical because it irritates the fact that I have to say it. Like Stu is alive. Fandom has been going in on this whole thing for decades. They even made a little riff about it in Scream 6. Just a little funny little thing between Kirby and Mindy, where they were having a little moment and they kind of did a little joke about it, which was playing into the whole meta situation. So I like Matthew Lillard. He's not the only one that's coming back. We already heard David Arquette's supposed to be coming back as well. I don't know if they mentioned anything about Skeet Ulrich. You know, he did appear in the previous two, but he came back as a Force Ghost to Melissa Barrera's character. What was it, Sam Carpenter? So, when we had all, in regards to all of that, I'm just hoping that they do him justice. First of all, he's worrying about that he's going to suck. I don't think it all boils down to him. It's all whatever in the writing. You, as an actor, can only deliver what the director is asking you to deliver. So I hope that if he does come back in some sort of way, however they're going to bring him back and whatever his little scene is, that people don't go too hard on him. Because I'm only, as an actor, delivering what the director is requiring me to do. And people need to kind of look at it in that context. So I'm hoping that things work out. I do like Matthew Lillard. I would just like him, when people die, can they stay dead? But I'm still really fixated on the fact that I truly believe that this whole thing is going to be something where Ghostface is doing some type of AI, some type of, taking everybody's voices or whatever and just using it to kind of get back at Sydney in some sort of way. I'm hoping that's actually what's happening with that. But also we need to point out that, because of Scream, it definitely catapulted Lillard's career because he went off and did so many other movies where, He appeared in a couple of other horror films, and then he did Scooby-Doo, and then most recently Five Nights at Freddy's. And so, in addition, oh yeah, I forgot he was also in like She's All That, The Descendants. Like he's been in a lot of stuff. So in addition, there's a huge lineup of actors who's in this movie. So we have Nev Campbell, of course, and Courtney Cox, and we've got Scott Foley coming back from the dead. We got Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown, alongside newcomers Isabel May, Celeste O'Connor, Asa Gurman, McKenna Grace, Sam Reckner, Anna Camp, Joe McHale, and Mark Consuelos. We don't have Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega coming back. They were supposed to come back, but you already know what had happened between them because Melissa called for a ceasefire in Gaza. And apparently, Jenna Ortega said that she didn't come back because of a scheduling conflicts with Wednesday season 2. I'm not buying it, but if that's what you want to go with, sis, we'll go along with it. Just because, we'll be politically correct for once. We'll go along with that. Wink, wink. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you guys excited to see Matthew Lillard making his triumphant return, however they plan on doing it, in the upcoming Scream 7? Right now, the movie is done. They wrapped it up probably I think a week or two ago. So now they're in post-production. They're trying to wrap everything up and that whole sort of thing. And I'm hoping that they decide to move the movie up and not have us still wait until February of 2026, because that's when it's coming out. So I definitely want to hear from you all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You say, yep, his full name is Oscar Isaac Hernandez Estrada, which makes me feel he who wants to get away with playing white roles. Or it could have been a Hollywood thing, because here's the thing. I just saw a recent story, and you know how it is, back in the day. I saw a recent story about Joey Lawrence and Matthew Lawrence saying that the Lawrence brothers saying that they regret changing their name because Lawrence is actually not their last name. Lawrence is actually Joey Lawrence's middle name. Well, Lawrence is Joey's middle name. Their actual name is Mignogna. However the hell you say it. Mignogna. And of course, back in the day, they would be like, well, a lot of y'all have to get stage names because your name is hard to pronounce and it's going to be hard for people, so you have to make it easily accessible. Just like I told y'all, Luke Perry, Luke is his middle name. His actual government name was Coy. So him going by Luke Perry, it was more palatable for people to say his name. It's the same thing with a lot of actors. A lot of actors do it. So the stage name is Joey Lawrence. Hence, now his brothers are actors. They all do Matthew Lawrence, Andy Lawrence, and they say it's harder for them because of the whole passport situation. If they travel, they got to prove this and this and this. And they're making it real hard for people to travel in and out of the country, especially in this one with all the mess going on with that. So a lot of times they'll tell you that, but I like the fact that, we have Pedro kept his name. But yeah, there's some that is they want to, I do agree with you with it. It's they want to do that whole, I got to be racially ambiguous so that way I'll be able to play a white dude, or I could play this role. But look, Jennifer Lopez did it. She played, how many Italian roles she played? She played a Mexican. She played an Italian. I think, and has she ever played a Puerto Rican? I think she has. But that I guess that's the good thing. I know some people feel a way about it, but that's the good thing about being racially ambiguous. You can play so many different roles. Look at Vin Diesel. He got some black up in him. I think he's black and Italian. But which I have cousins that's Italian too. But yeah, when you're racially ambiguous, you can play all different types of roles. The first one was the best one. Then when they want to make a Brazilian sequels is always, yeah. Although I will say this, majority of the time with the Scream movies, they've always been relatively solid. There've always been little issues that I've had, little things here and there that I'm just I don't like that part. But relatively, I can sit through a whole movie to watch them. But then there's some that's oh no, I agree with you in other sequels where it's you make more and more and more and more. It's they're just getting bad. It's stop it. But as long as they make money, they're going to keep making them. 30-year anniversary since the franchise. Yeah, I think it's next year. And that's why I think we were having a conversation where Robert was saying that they were talking about doing, they wanted to, that there was a rumor that they wanted to push Scream to come out like later in 2026 to coincide with the 30th anniversary of Scream. So I'm like, no. First of all, if you're going to drop it, you should have just shot the movie later on in 2026. I mean 2025 instead of shooting in early 2025 to have it sit on a shelf for a whole year and a half. Like that's dumb. So I would have rather y'all just okay if you want to coincide it with the 30th anniversary, then yeah, release it in 2026. Early 2026, as y'all already situate, already stated. You said February, stick to February. If you don't want to move it up early, unless y'all want to do like, okay, now let's get Scream 8 going. And then you can have Scream 8 come out. And you can move Scream 7 up to September, October of this year. And then you can have Scream 8, which will already be in the can, have that come out during the 30th anniversary. So we get a year each, back to back of horror movies. They've done it before. Shit. When I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, a year apart. Although, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Some people said that the movie suffered because y'all rushed it. But if you have a clear eye, clear view, and you already know what you need to do with both Scream 7 and 8, then put it out. But maybe what they're trying to do is wait and see how well Scream 7 does because all the stuff about Melissa Barrera, pro-Palestine, all of the mess, those people bitching and moaning about that. They're probably like, let's just wait around and see how well this movie does before we start greenlighting another movie. Because look, they already greenlit a trilogy to The Strangers. And you already see how well that last movie did. Now we got The Strangers Part 2 supposed to be coming out in September this year. And nobody's really excited about that movie because the last one sucked. And now you got two more movies to try to deliver because the first one wasn't that great. It basically regurgitated what we saw from the original movie with Scott Speedman and Liv Tyler. Just with two new people. Speaking of 30 years, today is the 30th anniversary of Selena's passing. Beady beady bum bum. Yeah, I know. Because I knew it. You reminded me, but I knew that because we talked about it yesterday's episode. We talked about Yolanda getting her parole tonight. Could you imagine her getting out of jail just days before Selena's anniversary of her death? Like that would just be shady. And the fans would be pissed. RCA Records wanted Xtina to be Christina because her last name wasn't good. Oh yeah, they wanted her to. I do remember that she talked about that she wanted them to change. She wanted her to change her last name. She was like, "No, I'm not changing it." That would be like she's not going to deny her Ecuadorian, roots and and her father. The Scream franchise never changed the story, but continued the story from the first one, which is something different. Yeah, they've always continued the story. So it's kind of like with that metaverse that Sydney has gone on to live her life, and we're just seeing like how her life has progressed through the years. So I agree with that. I always loved her last name. It always rolled off the tongue. Are you talking about Christina Aguilera? It was always funny to hear white people trying to pronounce it. I always crack jokes. It's more than just a ghost face, which is your usual horror fan loves the villain, but it's Sidney Gale and etc. That's what. Yeah, and like I said, I always look at Scream franchise as like me watching an episode of Scooby Doo. It's we love Sydney, we love Gail because Gail's kind of like a gay man trapped in a woman's body. Sydney is that girl that stays always, she's a fighter, as she said many a times in Scream. To remember how many times I'm a fighter. I don't believe you. I'm a fighter. I always remember that scene when she was trying to be an actress. Remember that? And then but then when we get to the end, it's always about to me, Scream is like the slasher equivalent of Scooby Doo. But yeah, Cleveland says Ariana Grande isn't Hispanic. Yeah, she's not. And as Felix says, she is Italian. And how I know this is because every time I turn around, Frankie Grande always talking about his Italian background, his Italian roots. I'm Italian, I'm Italian, I'm Italian. He said it like 50 million damn times when he was on Worst Cooks of America. So yeah, not only is her skin pale, but she need to eat a sandwich of five. It's like once these people cross over into that A-list Hollywood space, it's like they devoid of actual food and nourishments. Now, speaking of people who should be devoid of just existing, let's talk about Koonye, Uncle Ruckus' ass. because this idiot is running around here doing interviews dressed as a Klansman, a black Klansman. You want to know something? They could have put his ass in that damn movie. But yeah, let me show you this foolishness, because I don't know if y'all seen this picture. But yeah, now he out here talking about that he wished that he never had children with Kim. Now, you saying this, how do you think them 4 kids feel with you saying this foolishness on in an interview with DJ Academics of all people? So yeah, this is the foolishness this idiot is running around wearing. So in a bizarre new interview with DJ Academics, the all falls down because clearly he has fallen down. His mental health, his career, and everything else. Rapper explained why he did not see himself becoming a father while dating his now ex-wife. Now, Academics said, when you speak about Kim, people might be like, well, you picked her. You put yourself in that. Oh, and I'll be one of them. Hello, me, hi, how you doing? I'll be the main one saying that. And I'm going to say it after we hear what he had to say, but let's continue. So now West, who wore an all-black Ku Klux Klan outfit, complete with a hate group's infamous pointed hood, during the disgraceful interview replied, absolutely I did. That was my fault. No, that was my fault. The Grammy winner, who I can't believe is 47, because your black is cracking, sir, said, I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with them, but that wasn't God's plan. So now I should point out, because this is from Page 6, shout out to them. They have reached out to Kim, her rep, for comment, but they didn't hear back. Now, West and the Skims founder share 4 kids, as y'all know, daughters North, who's 11, and Chicago, excuse me, who's 7, and son Saint, who is 9, and Psalm, who is 5. Now, recently, the Yeezy founder and the reality TV star had a war of words over their eldest child, who West wanted to have featured on one of his songs with disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs. But then he got all upset because she had her on a FKA Twigs track, and I'm sitting there like, first of all, there's nothing problematic about FKA Twigs. So why would you be mad that she'll be featured in a FKA Twigs song and the music video? Which I will say this, North did her thing in that video. Normally, I gave her little critique when she was up in there singing that damn I Just Can't Wait to Be King off key. But she definitely did her thing in that FKA Twigs video if you haven't seen it. And so she tried to get it, as in Kardashian, tried to get a judge to stop the song from being released because she did not want her daughter tied to the Bad Boy Records founder, who was awaiting trial on charges of trafficking of the sexual kind. And not only that, but he was going to have the Tate brothers, who y'all know has been accused of trafficking women, at his house. And she was like, oh, hell no. What you're not going to do is have my child subjected to that mess, because then I'm going to have to get Jason Statham to unalive your behind and rescue my child from these human trafficking ring. If you know, you know. We talked about it earlier. It's a movie joke. But anyway, so now a source told Page 6, they said Kim's priority is the well-being and safety of her children and to protect them from being around Kanye's controversial behavior. Despite Kardashian's concerns, Koonye dropped the track anyway on social media and demanded she amend her trademark of North's name to include him. I wouldn't do it. He then accused his ex and the Kardashian mob of restricting his parenting and compared their current custody agreement to visitation in jail. And of course, he put the shit in caps. But let's see what he said. Now, he said, all these rights have been taken from me by the Kardashian mob, Hulu, and Disney, and the bigger agenda to use the selectively bred Black children to be platforms to influence Black people. Well, here's the thing, sir. You the one that decided to slip your dick in her and give her 4 children. You decided to lay it low and spread it wide with a damn Kardashian. I'll just leave it there because I'm tired of looking at that foolishness. But it's just like, you the one that decided to lay it low and spread it wide with a Kardashian. So don't be surprised when you out here losing what little bit is left of your mental stability and she's restricting your rights with your kids. You behaving like this is catnip for them to be able to do the things that they need to do to keep you away from your kids. You are the one who's doing this. If you wasn't out here trying to put on those stunts and shows talking about selling Nazi propaganda or what is it? Nazi merchandise, I should say. Well, you are spewing Nazi propaganda, but you're also out here selling Nazi merch with that little stunt that you pulled during the Super Bowl. And then when people went to your website, you selling a t-shirt with a damn swastika on it. Then you out here wearing a chain, because I didn't show you this one, had the nerve to be out here, the unlitigated gall, wearing a t-shirt that says Sean John and a necklace that got a damn swastika on it. First of all, Hitler would have burned people like your ass alive. So you sit up in here trying to act like you are part of that community, Uncle Ruckus. You need to realize your history before you be out here trying to do shit like you doing now for attention, because that's all this is. You're not going to sit up. I'm tired of people out here saying this is a mental health issue, that when he going to take his med. Look, he a grown-ass man with a lot of fucking money. There is no excuse to why he's behaving like this at his big-ass age of 48. The nigga is pushing 50, and he out here doing this foolishness. And y'all don't have a problem with this? Y'all continue to make excuses for him? And don't get me wrong, I'm not out here trying to make excuses for the Kardashians either, because they just as much as trash boxes as his ass is. They're not innocent in all of this. However, we should be able to give, Kim her flowers when need be. So it's like when you come out and you're doing what you got to do to protect your children, and you got to put your foot down because your kids come first before all the lunacy that he's doing, all that reality TV mess, all them the pomps and circumstance and the stunts and shows, all that is getting pushed by the wayside because I got to do what I got to do to protect my children. And like I said before, how does he think with you saying this foolishness on to academics, fat ass? Because I know that room probably smelled like swamp ass and bad breath. That's what that looked like. That room probably smelled like. I could just imagine. So would you say all of this, how do you think that makes your kids feel? Like, how do you shield your children from that, especially when you got two parents in the public eye? When you out here saying that you wish you didn't have children with Kim Kardashian, but that wasn't part of God's plan. You had 4 children with her. I can understand if you did the one before. So that was 4 times you regretting. And especially when you got North out here who trying to compete with Blue Ivy as who can get the most attention and most opportunities. Except Blue Ivy don't give me like she's a egomaniacal child who is thirsting for attention. But yeah, I already told you about the whole Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate situation. And you're sitting there aligning yourself with racist propaganda, talking about Nazism, surrounding yourself like kikiing with Diddy, knowing full on the things he's allegedly done. And out here hobnobbing and rubbing elbows with the Tate brothers, who were accused of rape and human trafficking. And I hope she doesn't consider changing the custody agreement. I hope she brings all of this to the judge, shows that this man is unstable, and revokes his full custody. Now, if you want to have a new set of kids where you can go and fuck them up in the brain, you go knock up that old big titty bitch that you married to now. Kim, unfortunately, you just gonna have to be a single mother. You want, or as y'all want to say, y'all want to be black. You want the rhythm, but not the blues, right? Well, welcome to that side where you gonna have to just be a baby mama. You gonna have to join Chloe. You gonna have to join who the other one, Kylie. You ain't gonna have to join Kourtney because Kourtney was smart. She stayed with her side. She stayed with the white folks. She got she is technically a baby mama but she's married now to Travis Barker. But she got her little loophole. She got her new man. And that man is helping her with what she got to be helped with. But the other 2, or the other 3, because Kylie ain't got Kendall ain't had no kids. Kylie's a baby mama. Kourtney's a baby mama. And Kim is a baby mama. You're just going to have to deal with it. You're just going to have to welcome to that side of the black side that y'all just don't want to acknowledge. So y'all want to get with the black man. You want that black dick. You want to reap the benefits of what black people bring to the culture. So you're going to have to deal with that other stereotypical side, which is being a baby mama. Sorry, sis. This is what you walked yourself into. And as long as this man is alive, this is the foolishness you're going to have to deal with. This is why I be telling y'all, be careful who y'all spread y'all legs to. You wanted to kind of be up in there and have that fame and all this other stuff, and thinking it was going to get you the in, with the fashion world, which Kanye got you into with the Anna Wintours and the elites in the fashion world, because girls, nobody was checking for you when before then. And now it's the same situation with the hip hop. You wanted to kind of get in that whole place. And Kanye did what he did when he was liking your ass at the time and got you in there. Now you see what the mess is. And now you get in the other side. So that's all I got to say on that. So I want to hear from y'all. So what do you think of this mess with this fool running around dressed like he Uncle Ruckus, wearing Ku Klux Klan uniforms and stuff? I'm like, these are the same people that would have had your ass hung from a goddamn tree, and you doing all this shit for attention. Like, get off my line with this foolishness. So Koonye out here being a coon, being a self-hating Negro who needs to be put down like the dog he is. So I want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, I didn't watch the short film. I gotta watch that. They're better off without him. I can't with this foolishness. Triple K Kanye. Kim should get full custody, even though I don't think she's a very good. Well, what is left for him to pull us? Can you imagine? Don't give him no ideas. Next, he's gonna be out here using that old Azealia Banks bleaching soap to change her skin color. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, I feel like them kids are screwed on both sides, because when you're dealing with two parents that are narcissists, what are they gonna do? But at the same time, it's like, yeah, at this point, she's gonna have to get custody and keep them kids away from that madman. Why I feel like we're getting played like avatars is this just a culture where people get rewarded for being a social menace. Well, this is the current climate we in, thanks to, a certain president who has kind of ushered in that type of attention seeking. So now you got a lot of people out here who feel like, oh, well, he's able to do it. Oh, he's a marketing genius. He's been able to do all these things. So now let's all try to do it. You see all the politicians trying to do it and failing miserably because y'all just don't have the, I guess, charm of it. So now you got Kanye out here doing his stuff too. And it's cringe. I forgot to also mention during the thing, because it was talking about his music or whatever, his music was pulled off of Apple Music, so it's not up there. So if y'all want to hear Bully, you're not gonna find it up on Apple Music. Now I don't know about Spotify and any other place. Well, a damn sure ain't on Tidal, because he already burned that bridge with Jay-Z and Beyonce. So this definitely not on Tidal. But I guess he's gonna have to find other ways to release his music. Maybe it's on YouTube. I don't know. But all I know is Apple Music, they said hell no to Bully. It was up there, and then they took it off. They said he's giving them enough material. Exactly. And he helps it. Exactly. It's like you actually sat there and climbed on top of that woman and had her legs up to Jesus while you was, skeeting up in that coochie, that wear and tear, that worn and torn coochie. So if you want to sit up in here and do all of that, it's like, yeah, take responsibility for your piece as well. And it seemed like based off the interview he did, but I could not sit there and be all serious, be like, are you about to seriously come in here with this camera on and just sit up in here as a black Klansman and do this interview where you just gonna be ranting? And I know, like, academics, all he was thinking about was, oh my God, my ratings, this shit is gonna go viral. Them numbers gonna go through the roof. I'm about to make a serious coin off of this. That's how a lot of them think. But if that's the kind of energy and thing, if that's what you want to put out there, then. But I just want to know, black people, y'all still supporting Kanye? Y'all still out here listening to his music after all these little stunts and shows he pulling? Even down to the Klanman robe that he was just seen wearing in that interview. Are y'all still Team Kanye? Well, I keep forgetting it's supposed to be Koonye. Yes, she is growing up to be a spoiled brat, but look at the product of where she's from. All right, now let's move on, y'all. All right, so now let's get into this mess. Let's talk about Sean Kingston, who I think him and his mom are about to go to jail because they've been found guilty of being fraudsters and stealing a lot of money. So yeah, let's get into this mess. So Kingston, who's 35, and Turner, his mother. Well, I don't know her first name. It don't say it up in the article. But anyway, so yeah, Kingston and his mama, who is 62, stood accused of defrauding a jewelry business, a luxury bed company, a used luxury and exotic car dealership, and a luxury micro-LED TV company since October of 2023. I'm like, God damn, y'all were busy. Now a jury has convicted both of them of all 5 charges leveled against them, with each of them potentially facing up to 20 years in the clink. The Beautiful Girls hitmaker, he is a one-hit wonder, by the way, is said to have, oh wait, didn't he do that Fire Burning song? So he's like, somebody called 911. Yeah, so he a 2-hit wonder. Is said to have wept in court when, well, do the crime, you do the time. That's what my mama always told me. So beautiful crimes beautiful crimes. The Beautiful Girls hitmaker is said to have wept in court when the verdict was announced, according to a report in TMZ. Now, when Turner was escorted from the courtroom and remanded into custody, Kingston allegedly pleaded with the U.S. Marshals to protect my mother. Well, where was the protection when y'all was out here stealing all them damn people money? And child, if you want to see a hairline that go back farther than George Jefferson and Stephen A. Smith combined, let's look at their mama mugshot. Where's her hair? Your hairline is all the way in the back of your head. And what's she gonna protect? First of all, she looked like she giving Bulldog a tease. She might do just fine behind bars. Now, they said that Kingston will remain in home detention until he and Turner are sentenced on July 11th, while she remains in custody because the judge regards her as a flight risk. So he gets to do home detention while she behind bars. Where they do that at? And he'll probably be around saying, oh, well, because mama orchestrated the whole situation. I don't believe that. First of all, he a grown-ass man. This is not like some little kid that did some ish. He's 35. He's in his mid-30s. You know better around that time. And to me, it's giving, you had a little moment in the spotlight of the music business. You had your little hits, 1 or 2-hit wonder. And you wanted to keep that pomp and circumstance, that illusion that you doing well, you want to keep it going. So now you out here defrauding people out of millions of dollars, and it caught up with you. And that's how the government gets you. They don't wait until you do like $100, $200, $300, $400. That ain't nothing. That's crumbs. They wait till you get over into the hundreds of thousands. Then it's like, okay, we're going to pounce on this MFer. And now we got something on you. They want you to hit the big leagues before they pounce on you. So now, both Kingston and his mother pleaded not guilty to the charges against them last August during an arraignment hearing before Bulwark Circuit Judge Ernest Calra. Kingston was originally arrested in May and was last met in Fort Irwin, an Army training base in California's Mojave Desert, where he was performing on a warrant issued by the Broward Sheriff's Office. Can you imagine I'm in the middle of performing in a concert and they come up and put my ass in handcuffs? That would be so embarrassing. Meanwhile, so I said, shit, somebody called 911 on his ass, literally. Now, meanwhile, Turner was arrested on the same day after a SWAT team, was it Shamar Boy the one that did it? Raided the singer's rented mansion in Southwest Ranches. Now, that's another thing. How y'all got all this money that y'all was stealing, but you renting a mansion? I'd at least bought it. But maybe if you buy, then it makes people even more suspicious. Or they be able to, there might be some documentation type of situation that will go on with that. I don't know. So yeah, they said warrants allege they stole money, $480,000 worth of jewelry, a $160,000 Cadillac Escalade, and furniture. Kingston's counsel defended him on the grounds that he was a child who did not understand his finances. Get out of here. First of all, I know he looked like he got a little baby face. Well, not in this picture. He looked like he's slow in this picture. But there, I get we get baby face tees, but you 35. Last time I checked, 21 was grown. I could understand if maybe you could push it like it's 24, 25, because your brain, your frontal lobe hasn't fully developed until you in your mid-20s for males. But you got a full 10 extra years on top of that 25. So you know better. So for this attorney to come up in here and say that fool, okay, let's go back to this horrible picture because it's funny. Ooh, girl. Her eyebrows is drawn on. I didn't notice it. And I can see, like, if you look up here, don't look like it's a look like she got strands of hair. Like, ma'am, you should just got rid of whatever's left and just kept the wigs on. But I understand when you get locked up, they make you take everything off. You gotta take your wigs off. You gotta take your jewelry. You can't wear nothing. So I don't know. It's kind of like with Tory Lanez, all that Beijing that he had put in his head, because you know his hairline is receding. He can't be wearing that up in jail unless they do a Francois Sagat and do a whole Caesar tattoo. That's the only way that he's gonna be able to get with, you know, covering up that bald spot. And maybe she need to do the same thing, or maybe they'll give her something to put on top of her head when she behind bars. I don't know. Are women allowed to wear wigs in jail? I don't know. I ain't never been to federal prison, so let me know. I've been locked up for a weekend for assault, but I ain't never been to jail, as in prison, as in federal prison. So now, they said the Jamaican American performer had a #1 hit with the track Beautiful Girls in 2007 and collaborated with the Bieber, who I heard is going a downward mental spiral his damn self, on the 2010 song Eeny Meeny. Y'all talking about that? So they said Kingston's counsel defended him on the grounds of as he was a child, while the judge described his mother as a fixer and the nerve center for the criminal enterprise. So what they're going to say is the mother was the one that came up with this damn scheme, and Sean was just in on it because, you know, that's my mother. So I'm going to get a little piece of what's going on. And him being a celebrity, that still was able for them to kind of maneuver and her to do her little criminal activities. So they said that he was already on 2 years probation for trafficking stolen property before his arrest. I do remember that story. Now, according to federal court records, his mother pleaded guilty in 2006 to bank fraud for stealing over 160,000 and served nearly 1.5 years in prison. Now the dummy gonna go back. The two have also been sued by various businesses. In 2015, a seller of customized watches successfully sued Kingston and his mother in a New York City federal court for $356,000 after they failed to pay. In 2018, a New York jeweler successfully sued them for $301,000 after they scammed the store out of 9 items. More recently, a Florida entertainment systems company sued Kingston in February, saying they failed to pay $120,000 of a $150,000 bill for a 232-inch TV. What the fuck do you need with something that size? A 232-inch. Well, I guess because Sean is huge, he needs something that big to look at. So they said a 232-inch television it installed in his home. The TV is approximately 17 feet by 9.5 feet and covers a wall. The singer, so now y'all been here talking about stage names. His name is Kassan Paul Anderson. In Miami, he was born in 1990. In his youth, he moved with his family to Jamaica before returning to Florida in his teenage years for high school. Well, I thought they like all that scheming and scamming down in Florida. So he was fitting right in. Now, in the late 2000s, Kingston had was one of the biggest names in hip hop thanks to his collaborations with Justin Bieber, Dr. Dre, and Nicki Minaj. But his star had fallen somewhat since then, and he's been without a major label release in more than a decade. His 2022 album, Road to Deliverance, failed the chart because he was a one-hit wonder. Like, when we heard Beautiful Girls, which of course contained a sample of Stand By Me by Benny King, that was like his one big hit. And then he would appear on other people's songs. He was like a guest singer or whatever the case was. They keep saying rapper. But I'm like, where does Sean Kingston rap? I don't know. I don't listen to his music like that, but I could have sworn I've always heard him kind of like sing talk on stuff. And he became moderately successful. But he reminds me of like a Flow Rider or even a Jason Derulo, like somebody who's just there, but y'all music gets around, but nobody's really listening to it. It's just they play it in Target. So that's what his music kind of gave me. I never really looked at a Sean Kingston like, oh yeah, he's that dude. Like everybody cares. Like he was just mid to me. Like he was just not one of those artists that really stood out during the time of like, you know, because when he came out, it was like Gaga was popping, Kesha was popping, like a lot of the girlies was going, and we was living for them. So we wasn't really living for Sean Kingston. First of all, I would be more or less listening to Jay Sean. Remember him? Before I would listen to some damn Sean Kingston. But anyway, that's all we got on this story. This is a hot ass mess. But I'm like, damn, this is what y'all were doing out here. Lying, scheming, and double dealing. Lying, stealing, and double dealing. I should have said. That's the lyrics of the song. So yeah, I want to hear from y'all. What do you think of this mess that's going on between Sean Kingston and his trifling ass mama out here stealing people money, and now they're about to allegedly get 2 decades in jail? Now I know he need to do some shit. He need to do some damn time behind bars. Not no damn house arrest. Get out of here with that. So what about all that big old TV and all that other stuff they were stealing? Like you get to sit and luxuriate in the house while and on house arrest while your mother does hard time. Like no, they both need to do the time since they did the crime together. So unless you're willing to take the fall for his behind, but you still fall off the ways. Like nobody's gonna give you a gig in the entertainment industry after all that mess. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so I gotta go on up. Oh, you said he should have been focusing on music. He could have at least found other talent to produce or manage, right? No, you was rather out here stealing people's shit. He thought that was gonna be a lucrative career. He did that. Apparently, he did that better than the music. Oh, I guess you laughing at all the stuff I was. What was it? The in between stuff, the banter I was saying in between the comment because I can't just read an article and not give my opinion on it. It's a case of too much too soon and holding on to the edge of the cliff. Which a lot of them do. It's all about pomp and circumstance with a lot of these people. They want to sit out here and show like, yeah, I'm flossing. Yeah, I got all these this big mansion. I got all this awesome furniture, and I'm driving around this Escalade. It's always about like trying to show people up. But look how you got it. You got it from stealing other people's stuff. So now look how you look. You a damn federal criminal. That would be considered a white collar crime, right? Yeah. He was getting gigs around the world, but I wonder how many people got conned while he was. Yeah, and if he was getting gigs around the world, then that means that you was making a good amount of money. But I guess that wasn't enough. I'm surprised you're not talking about Lincoln Park. Well, I mean, yeah, that probably fit in tomorrow because yeah, that whole thing, I thought that was hilarious. But a lot of times when I'm putting the show together, it has to fit within a certain. I have to feel like okay, this is something that fits in within the topics. But I'll bring it up on tomorrow's show because they out here struggling to sell tickets too. She could use it. Yeah, a hairline tattoo. That's what I said, like Francois Sagat. And I remember back in the day when Francois Sagat did that, I was like, oh my God, that looks so cool. The way he did that whole situation with that whole tattoo. I have another friend, Adele, who does the hairline tattoo as well because he started losing a lot of his hair. So he gets like a tattoo fade. I was like, that's really interesting that y'all do that. Because it's like, yeah, a lot of people feel a little self-conscious. Wigs, hairpieces, and extensions not allowed in jail for security and hygienic reasons and to prevent the. Oh yeah, that's true. So it's like y'all gotta you got that alopecia going, sis. You just gonna have to live with it. Oh, he said fraud tech Philippe. Oh, is that the watch people that they stole from? He said I've heard of rent to own, but no. Okay. I mean, yeah, I would do a rent to own. Like I'm not somebody that well, first of all, I would rather rent than buy because at least if you rent, you can just get at any time like I'm not feeling this house no more, I can get up and leave. I don't want to be stuck with a house that I bought and it's like you spending years trying to get rid of it and nobody wants to buy it. So renting is easy on that point. The only problem is when they keep hiking up that price, that's what gets you. He said, we are laughing at you cracking. Oh, sorry. Well, why am I apologizing? Shit. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, that hair look a mess. I was like, sis, how you walking around with like your hairline is literally in the back of your head, or it starts in the back of your head? Like even, I was like, damn, you got Stephen A. Smith beat with your hairline. Let me stop making fun of people before I get cursed and end up with my hairline in the back of my damn head. I'm actually lucky that I never had like an issue with like losing my hair and stuff. One time I had a hat on, I took it off. My mother was like, "You losing your hair?" I was like, I was like, "It's because I had the hat on. I messed up my hair." So she said that to me one time. I was like, "No," and I was like, all like doing this in the back, trying to fix it. I'm surprised she didn't have it fixed with the money they had. Well, I feel like his career was kind of the success of his career was kind of short lived. And I guess we also don't know the type of financial issues that he had too, because when you're part of a record label, the amount of what's the advance, you got to pay that back, how successful the songs were, and I don't think that as a artist when he was dropping like albums, if those things were successful, I wonder if he was also using that money that they were stealing to fund those albums. All right, so that's what, child. We're gonna go from one criminal situation and fraud situation to allegedly another situation. Let's get into Teresa Giudice, because the other day we did talk about how she and her husband Louis allegedly owe $3 million in tax liens, and I also saw that Black Dolores over at New Jersey was going in on. I was thinking it was also Tamra, not Tamrin. Tamrin is Tamra Hall. Tamra, judge, they were going in on Bethany Frankel from commenting on on Teresa's financial issues. And it's like, okay, the show is over, Dolores. You don't have to continuously cheerlead for Teresa. Now, if she out here doing stuff, let her handle her own stuff. Why you out here always trying to be like her spokesperson or her bodyguard? Like, stop it. I mean, you was cute or whatever when you was on the Traders, the recent season that just ended. But it's like, sis, you don't need to be out here doing, I'm sexy, I'm cute, I'm popular. But we don't need you doing the whole cheerleading thing for her. She can defend herself. But if she out here not paying her damn taxes, then people have a right to speak on it, which I'm about to do now. Anyway, so Teresa is in the doghouse for bragging about her luxury wardrobe at the news service that she and her husband, Louis Ruelas, owe a staggering $3 million in taxes. Now, the Real Housewives of New Jersey star posted photos of herself on Instagram on Monday in which she wore a baggy t-shirt, as you can see in the picture, embroidered with the names of several luxury fashion brands known for their pricey inventory. She says, I speak fluent French, Hermes, Chanel, Dior, Saint Laurent. And her post was apparently intended to motivate and inspire her followers. I don't know how, because I'm sure all of your followers can't afford Hermes, Chanel, Dior, and Saint Laurent. So, and it's no shade, I'm just saying. So, what motivation? I just feel like that this was what Teresa does. Teresa loves to deflect. Whenever there's some type of negative press about her, she likes to deflect on other things. This was her deflection because she can't go out and go against, Joe and Melissa Gorga. They all doing whatever it is they're doing. Joe, I guess, is now a stand up comedian. I don't know what Melissa's doing. I don't be following them like that. I only follow the show whenever it airs, but we don't even know what's going on with the future of the Housewives of New Jersey, so we can't speak on it. However, in this situation, um, she said, "Yeah, this was to inspire and motivate her followers, saying, new week, fresh goals, unstoppable energy. Let's make this Monday the start of something amazing." However, netizens were less than enthused and flooded the comment section of her post to label her tone deaf amid her financial woes, saying very tone deaf considering her major debt and Ruella's massive debt. How can they feel this is all right advertising a fake lavish lifestyle based on massive debt? So delusional, one person commented. Another person said, oh, Teresa, do you ever learn? Who are you going to blame now? A second social media user inquired. Another person said, the balls to wear this shirt when you owe millions in taxes. Tell Jen Shaw. Why you say her name like that? They put like 3 W's at the end of Shaw's last name. They said, tell Jen Shaw. I said, hey, girl, when you get to federal, a third person joke referring to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City alum Jen Shaw, who is serving a prison sentence after pleading guilty to defrauding thousands of people. Another person said, girl, pay your taxes. You don't need another vacation. Oh, yeah. So for those of you not aware, Teresa would always say, like, instead of she saying go to prison, there was a couple of times later on in the seasons that she did refer to it as she went to jail and all other stuff. But she always like, I went on vacation. I was this way. She was everywhere but behind bars. Apparently, according to her mind, she was everywhere but in prison. So that's where that little joke came from. In case for those of you who are not aware, don't watch The Housewives like I do. And they also say you should get a shirt that says liens and taxes. I think that's more appropriate. This was damn, y'all are shady, but I'm here for it. But we love reading what the people saying because y'all be way more entertaining than these celebrities out here that just be in a little bubble spewing ABS. So another person, I just don't understand why you would put yourself in the same situation. While another cracked, you are about to be fluent in federal tax evasion. I have to say, these clapbacks are accountable. So yeah, there she is in France, dressing very much like she's an Italian from Jersey with the boots. And like, that's something Mary J. Blige would wear. It's like, okay, and y'all think this is fashion. I swear, people in Jersey, y'all be dressing in specific areas, areas of Jersey. Y'all be dressing so damn tacky, but they think it's fashion. So let's go along. So I guess just because they think it's Hermes and all these other names, that it's fabulous. And it's like, no, just because it's got a fashion name on it, doesn't mean that it's cute. Because some of these label whores out here, y'all just be thinking y'all are just fashionistas because you just throw something with a label on it. I don't know. Label whores always irritate me. I just go with how things look. I don't even care if it was from Temu or if it was from, Louis Vuitton. You can mix it up, high and low. So yeah, it was confirmed last week that Giudice owes $303,889.20 in tax liens, and Ruelas, who is 49, well, I should say Teresa's older than him. She's 52. He's 49. He owes nearly $2.6 million. So yeah, them adding it all together, it comes over $3 million. The total does not include the $163,523.94 tax lien the businessman was hit with last December. The Bravo celebrity and Ruelas tied the knot in 2022 after dating for 2 years. And this is, of course, not the first time that Teresa has had a run-in with the law, because remember, we talked about it on the previous show that Teresa and Joe, when they first came on, the Housewives of New Jersey, happy wife, happy life. They were fabulous. They were living in that big mansion, and they were living like it was a big Cinderella story. Come to find out that Joe was out here doing some scandalous stuff. He was out here doing mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud. And she out here was like, I wasn't aware of what was going on. He asked me to sign something, and I was like, okay, and I just signed it. But she's not reading it. But I guess because she's like, you know what, I'm the wife. I'm very old school Italian. Whatever your husband tells you to do, you do it. And I truly believe that Teresa is of that mentality. I really hope that her generation, her 4 daughters, do not follow in that same mindset, because they're much younger, especially Gia, who's like, what, 22, 23. I just hope that they don't all follow in that direction, because that whole old school way of thinking is just crazy. So yeah, there's that. So, and then her troubles didn't stop there. So in 2023, which I don't think I remembered this, they said she was slapped with a $17,000 tax lien, with her attorney telling Page Six at the time that she was aware of her tax obligations, saying Miss Giudice makes significant timely monthly payments towards her outstanding tax liabilities and will continue to do so until these liabilities do not exist. I don't understand how y'all keep getting caught up in these situations. Is it because you're all out here thinking like, I just want to live this lavish life because I'm on a reality TV show, so we have to have the big mansion and a lot of cars and excess, like that whole American dream fantasy thing that is just, we have to keep up with the Joneses, but financially we're not able to do it, so we have to keep faking it, and then the things back up, hence the tax situation, the liens and all this other stuff that's going on. Louis out here, I guess, happy wife, happy life. He probably in that same mentality as Joe was. I gotta keep up with the Joneses. I gotta keep perpetuating this image that we have all of this stuff. Come to find out, it's, I'm not saying it's Louis doing the same thing, but come to find out, it's mail wire and bankruptcy fraud. Or you doing the stunts and shows that Sean Kingston and his mother was doing. Were you stealing money from all these companies? So like I said before, I do feel like that, yeah, this is a way of her trying to deflect, her trying to say it was to motivate people. What are you motivating? Like, a lot of people don't live how you live. People like watch what you do when they follow you and they like you on the reality show and all the other shows you've been on, but they're not living your lifestyle, this lifestyle that you put out there. So who are you trying to motivate? I truly feel that this was a deflection from the recent stuff about your tax issues. Which I don't know how you repeat yourself in this, get yourself in the same situation after what happened with your previous marriage. You must like prison. So, yes, people, it's April's tomorrow. You know, the end tax season's coming down to the wire soon. I just had my taxes done. So, and I'm happy I'm getting some coins back. So my tax stuff is done. I pay my shit every damn year. Teresa, you are not exempt. We all have to pay our taxes, our fair share, unless you're the president of the United States, I guess, then you don't have to. And so I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Teresa being slammed as tone deaf by, I guess, her fandom? Well, they said people just jumped in the comments, but I don't know if necessarily her fans. I guess it's those delusional ones, the ones that just be the tree huggers and they just go along with whatever Teresa does and don't have an issue with it, or just random people that just saw what she put up on there and it's just like, I'm gonna just say what I gotta say in these comments, and I don't give a damn if you upset about it or not. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said his career his career didn't last very long. After a year, I stopped hearing about him. Like I said, I definitely was not following Sean Kingston's career like that. Like I remember seeing him around. That Beautiful Girl song used to annoy the dog shit out of me. I used to be so irritated by that song. I did not like seeing him on my screen. I found him to be annoying. I'm like, this song is annoying. And look at him now. Now you a criminal. Mama, I'm in love with a criminal. Okay. Anyway, let's move on from reciting and channeling Britney Spears to talking about Lisa Rinna, who was opening up. So yeah, let's take a trip from New Jersey and let's go over to Beverly Hills because Lisa Rinna is finally revealing why she quit the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, or why she exited. I don't know, but I guess we could be politically correct. Some people think she was fired. She said she wasn't fired, that she just voluntarily left. Take that as you may. So she revealed the reason that she left in a recent interview. The Melrose Place alum appeared on the Therapist podcast hosted by Jake Shane and noted how difficult the show got towards the end because of social media, saying, in the beginning, we wrote blogs. You would have to watch the show and you'd write and blog about it. That's a long time ago. Then it became social media and everybody got real comfortable behind their computer saying anything. She made a shocking confession stating it was the fans who ran her off the show. She said it wasn't Bravo. It wasn't the girls. It was the fan base. They vandalized me in a way that I just didn't want to live like that anymore. And that's the truth. The fan base has to know it's because of them that I left the show. And that's something I think they don't want to take responsibility for. She reiterated when the fan base turned on her, it became too much for her to deal with. Okay. So let's address that because she also gets into other stuff where she talks about her and Kim Richards have their falling out. We'll get into that in a second. But let's address this. First of all, Lisa, what you're not going to do is blame the fandom as to why you exited the Real Housewives. I think it was just the backlash was so bad for you, especially during the season when we had that old troglodyte Diane Jenkins on the damn show and how you was allegedly allowing her in the whole bullying of Garcelle's son and a bunch of other shenanigans that was going on behind the scenes that people was just tired of you asserting yourself in situations, stirring the pot. Now, don't get me wrong. I was living for it because it's drama. When we watch a lot of these reality shows, I'm here for the drama. I'm here for the craziness of it all, the pomp and circumstance. That's why we watch the show. We don't sit and watch the housewives for these women to sit here and play me and you must ever part, Maki, dad. Like, we're not sitting up there watching a lot of these housewife shows for that reason. We're not here to sit and watch them do patty cake. We want to see the drama. We want to see the fabulosity on how these rich people live, and we want the drama. That's why we watch the shows. So take responsibility for your part in the whole situation as well. But you're not going to do is sit up in here and blame all the fans. So yes, I come from the era of blogging. Long before I started doing this stuff, yes, Chris Avalon was a blogger. And I was blogging about all the reality shows and all these other things that was going on and interviewing a lot of people in these spaces. So Now it's like we've graduated over to now that social media has become bigger than what it is. It's like you graduate, and I still do my blogging and have my own website, but I also do this type of commentary. And a lot of times we break down what's been going on in a lot of these shows when we need to talk about it. I don't really do recaps of shows, of reality shows. The only one I do is RuPaul's Drag Race. But like I feel like the days of like really recapping shows, I don't know if necessarily people care about that stuff anymore. But yeah, so I say like for that part, yeah, I get it. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people that are trolls that go on social media and they will say some like really gross, vile things, and they'll, they really go in because they're passionate. And sometimes people can cross the line and be a little disrespectful. And so those people, I don't like the toxic fandom. We talk about that enough times when I be talking about the Drag Race toxic fandom and so many other reality shows that tend to do that, or just shows in general where people like to troll. I don't like that side. So I do give her that. But sis, you got to take responsibility for your actions and why you were villainized in the first place. You can't sit up in here and just blame everybody else. So then after that, she did go in and talk about, that infamous cast trip to Amsterdam where she wound up getting into a fight about her husband, Harry Hamlin. Don't remember that? Don't you talk about my husband. Don't you talk about my husband. She went off in this infamous photo where she went and pulled up and she got up out the chair. And Lisa Vanderpump is on the right hand side, and she had that glass, and she broke that damn thing on the table because she hit a nerve. She said there was some stuff on the plane where it wasn't great between myself and Kim. There was weird cold energy. You know when people vibe you. She was vibing me. She vibed me the whole time and was starting to really get me. It was getting under my skin. I should also point out that Kim Richards is a Virgo. It's like, yeah, I could smell your bullshit like a shark smells blood. So Kim called her out. She clocked it, and Lisa got mad. Now, allegedly, because she said you don't want people to talk about your husband, because allegedly there was rumors going around that Harry Hamlin been cheating on her, but not with women. And I'll just leave it there. So there was a rumor going on that character he played a long time ago, what they said ruined his career because he played a homosexual, that he wasn't really acting. And remember, he also played a homosexual decades later on Shameless. Remember, he was banging out Ian Gallagher, that iconic season. So the reality starlet acknowledged everyone was away from home and jet lag, which contributed to how things unfolded during the outing, saying that we sat down and 5 minutes later that happened. Maybe 10 minutes in, we hadn't even ordered dinner. I swear to God, she went right in and that's what happened. And you see the reaction. I mean, it's really now that I'm able to look back at it and look above it. It's one of the greatest scenes of all time. Rinna, who has been vocal about never returning to RHOBH, was adamant she does not miss filming and says, I'm still friends with the girls I connect with. So I don't feel like I'm completely out of it, even though I'm completely out of it. I get to see the girls I love. And look, I like Lisa Rinna. I've always loved her ever since she was Billy Reed on Days of Our Lives. However, it's like if she don't want to come back and she wants to go and focus on her podcast and that she does with Harry and focus on her other acting endeavors and find ways to make money, and because she is a bona fide hustler. That's one thing I will always give Lisa Rinna. Then let her do that. She don't need to be all caught up in the reality TV situation, because everything doesn't work in that whole context of that, or not everybody can make that work. And she made it work for as long as she did. So if she doesn't want to come back, then we good on that. It'd be interesting to see who they bring in next season now that Garcella's gone. Now, I want to point this now. Speaking of which, so I can wrap this up, I want to give a shout out to Lisa Rinna because on a recent interview, speaking of her podcast, she brought up her father, because I wanted to add this to the docket as well. She brought up some tea about her father, saying that he died by assisted suicide in 2016. Now, on the March 28th episode, her and her husband, Harry Hamlin's Let's Not Talk About the Husband. Look at her over trying to turn lemons into lemonade, saying that she revealed her father, Frank, died by assisted unaliving in 2016. He was 94. Now, Hamlin, who's 73, said that Frank's quality of life had diminished to the point that he wanted to no longer be in the union. And in Oregon, you're permitted to check out when you want to check out due to the Death with Dignity Act. When they set their minds to this, they're ready. This is what the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum said, adding that her dad was in pain and really unhappy with his life. Still, Rinna felt torn about her father's decision, saying, you want to support your loved ones, you want to support what you want to do, but you're going to watch your parent unalive themselves. But they said the K word, but I got to change it up for the algorithms. However, Rinna said her dad wanted it so badly and her mom signed off on it, so she and her half sister accepted his choice. Now, Rinna went on to explain that the assisted unaliving process took 3 to 6 months and required her dad to have 2 doctors sign off on his terminal illness, which they did. She also said the assisted unaliving took place in a hospice situation with a death doula and not a death dealer, because death dealer, that was Celine from Underworld. Now, a death doula, and required Frank to drink the juice or whatever that would end his life. Let me find out y'all had the Jim Jones Kool-Aid recipe. They said you can administer it to somebody. You can't administer it to somebody. Rinna explained. As Hamlin clarified, it has to be a willful act on their part. Now, according to Rinna, Frank was eager to die, saying that the pills were supposed to come on a Tuesday. So when they set their mind to this, they're ready. So they didn't come till Tuesday. And my dad was so mad that the pills didn't come. Now, once the pills came, Rinna and her half-sister helped administer them to Frank. They set the scene by playing Frank Sinatra, which Hamlin said his father-in-law loved. Child, now we're going to go through this whole situation on how they went through it. Okay, let's go there. They said it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The light was coming in. There was a lot of real beauty behind it. We were playing also some yoga type beautiful music. But then you mix it with the orange juice. It tastes like ish. It's sour, but he's got to drink it down. So you hand it to him and he drank it. However, Rinna said there's a part that nobody tells you and you don't expect about assisted suicide. Oh, unaliving. It doesn't happen right away. It took 45 minutes. Yeah, because it got to be a slow death. What you have to realize is if you're taking pills and you got to drink it, it's got to work its way through your body. Like, that's all in the movies. Oh, you take this little poison, and then you're done. Like, really? Nobody does like that. But we understand for time purposes, you can't have real time situations happening in a movie or TV setting. Like, yeah, it's going to take you some time for it to get through your body before it starts hitting all the blood cells and all the other stuff. And then, yeah, you fall asleep. And she said, yeah, they just fall asleep, and it's not anything gruesome. The death doula also had morphine on hand in case they needed a backup plan. The mama, too, said that the whole experience felt trippy, almost so surreal that it didn't. I didn't feel like I was in my body. Yeah, because I don't know how I would feel if any one of my parents was like, I don't want to live. Like, excuse me, I would like to have like one of those Dr. Kevorkian assisted unaliving type situations. But it should be up to the person to decide, like, okay, if they don't want to be in the union no more, then yeah, you got to go through all the channels. You got to have a death doula. You got to have 2 doctors' signatures and be like, okay, this is what they want to do, and let them do it. I don't know if New York allows that, but to hear that, there are places in the United States that allow this, then yeah. So, I mean, then that's, I think, relatively interesting. So she said, yeah, she neglected to talk about his assisted unaliving publicly when it all went down. She said, I had started the show. And I think it was just too painful at the time. So yeah, and then also you have to realize, like, when something like that happens, the people who have to deal with this have to be able to find a way to process this themselves. And when they get to the point that they can talk about it, then they'll talk about it. And it took her, you know, how long was that? Like 8, 9 years to find the the comfortability to talk about it. So yeah, wait, hold on. Let me put this in here because now if you need some help, because we try to be a little frugal on the damn show when it comes to helping the peoples. So yeah, now if there's any of y'all out there that need a little situation, a little pick me up, and you feel a little suicidal, and you need a little pick me up, and you need somebody to talk to, whatever the case is, definitely call this hotline that we have down there, 988 text strength to the crisis text line at 741-741, or go to 988lifeline.org. So yeah, definitely do that because, but if you got your mind made up, then I guess it is what it is, right? So yeah, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding what Lisa Rinna had to say in regards to not only the assisted unaliving of her father, but also, why her excuse as to why she left the housewives of, you know, Beverly Hills. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So let's see how many more topics we got. We got about 4 more topics left in today's show. So before we get to those final 4, if you can do me a solid, if you have not already, hit that like button. Or if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, and also smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll definitely be putting timestamps into the show later on after the live stream, so that way you'll be able to just skip right through all the banter that we do during the live stream, so that way you can just click right onto whatever topic you want to see that I have in the description down below. So without further ado, please and thank you. Let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? So Wendy, well, I should say the Wendy Neistas have had it officially, because the hashtag FreeWendy movement, started by her day one supporters, they taken to the streets on April Fools, which is tomorrow. And I know a lot of people look at April Fools being like, okay, should we not take it seriously? Oh no, please do. It's because we definitely need to take what's going on with Wendy seriously. So if you haven't heard, discussions about protests in support of Wendy Williams are gaining traction, with demonstrations scheduled for April 1st, 2025 in both LA and New York. Now, these planned events have emerged from post-discussions circulating on the Twitter, claiming supporters are mobilizing to advance for the former talk show host amid her ongoing guardianship battle and health struggles. As the date approaches, the unfolding narrative raises questions about the motivations behind these protests and the broader implications for guardianship reform. Now, as y'all are probably aware by now, because we talk about it a lot on the show, Williams, who is now 60, has been under court-ordered guardianship since 2022. This legal arrangement arose following serious concerns regarding her welfare and financial management, primarily presented by Wells Fargo Bank, which cited unusual and disturbing events. And those unusual and disturbing events happened courtesy, well, according to Wendy, her son, Lil Kev, aka Kevin Jr. Now, in early 2023, her care team disclosed that Williams had been diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. Despite these diagnoses, Williams has been vocal on her recent complaints, emphasizing her cognitive capabilities in calls to shows like The View, Good Day New York, The Breakfast Club, Jason Lee, and all of them, because they only wanted to bring up The View and Good Day New York, because it's like these media conglomerates. Y'all only want to talk about the mainstream channels, but y'all not going to talk about where she actually went on and did all her grievances. She was all over the social media spaces. So let's give those people their credit as well. And she went and spoke to Non Limit and TMZ. So now her determination to assert her independence is evident. Now, during her appearances, Wendy described her living situation in a New York care facility as akin to a prison, where she faced restricted access to family and was unable to manage her financial assets, estimated to be around $12 million, which is weird because I could have sworn they said that she was worth $60 million. So what happened to... Yeah, so this is the thing, for those of you who haven't seen like the peaceful protest situation. This is the one that's in LA, by the way. But I could have sworn they said her financial assets was at 60 million, unless y'all just drain her completely dry. Now she's at 12 million. And they said the strings of this guardianship have been pulled by her guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, an elder law attorney who Williams has criticized, alleging mismanagement and expressing the desire for her removal. The recent post on Twitter regarding the protest suggests a grassroots response reminiscent of the hashtag Free Britney movement, which successfully raised awareness and sparked conversations about conservatorship reform. Supporters are rallying to FreeWendy, reflecting a broader concern about the dangers of guardianship systems that may argue can become oppressive and abusive rather than supportive. And that's kind of like what we've been seeing in regards to what happened with Britney and also what happened with Wendy. And because these two happen to be celebrities, we are paying more attention to what's happening with them. It also kind of opens up people's eyes to like, well, damn, so there's other people who are in these guardianships that's not a big name and don't have the platform that a Britney or a Wendy would have. They're probably dealing with a lot of mess too and abuse. So they said that some polls indicate that the upcoming demonstrations aren't solely for Wendy's case, but also aim to protest against what's perceived as a corrupt and crooked guardianship system. This sentiment showcases a dual focus, support for Wendy, and a broader critique of institutional failures in guardianship and conservatorship. And I will say, I actually like this because to me, the reason why I've been bringing this up more, is because, with Wendy Williams, she's, always been a mentor in my head and those things. But unfortunately, this had to happen to her. So that way it shines a light on the institutional failures of a guardianship or a conservatorship. Excuse me, where this should be an institution that helps people, that protects them, not abuses them, or takes their money or whatever kind of criminal activity you're allegedly doing. So they said there are nuclear details regarding the organizers, raising questions about the authenticity and scale of the movement. April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day, introduces a layer of skepticism. Will the protests materialize, or are they just an elaborate prank? However, the Twitter account of IBDQ1 firmly states, "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." In them Kanye caps. Well, I think with the whole way that I did it, you can't see it, but you see it now on the side because I did pull up her Twitter. And this is the other one that is happening in New York, where if you're in New York, it's happening at 10 a.m. at Bella Abzug Park, which is at 542 West 26th Street. Parking locations is 35th and 10th at the Marriott Courtyard. So they're saying West 26th Street. Wait. Oh, yeah. So 542 West 26th Street. That's basically, I think, Chelsea, where that's going to be happening. So yeah, it seems like it's real. I know a lot of people would be skeptical because it is giving, okay, April Fools, it's a joke, nobody's going to take it seriously, too many pranks be happening on April Fools. No, what's April Fool's quiet as it's kept should be canceled this year because the way this current administration is running the government, this is one big damn joke. So I think April Fools should be canceled for the next 4 years. But then again, you got this other moron talking about he's going to run a third term. Oh, no, the hell you not. So yeah, that's the latest that we have on Wendy Williams. Shout out to her. I'm really hoping that this whole Wendy hashtag Free Wendy movement works out. She definitely needs to be out of this guardianship. I will say this in a million more times. I've said it many a times. I feel like when it comes to Wendy, I would love for her to have, her freedom. She'd be able to come and go as she pleases. The word on the curb was, because I think it was on, hold on, let me pull up the neighborhood talk, because I think on their page, they said that oh, she can come and go when she pleases, but they found out that it was a damn lie. I'm like, really? Because I ain't hear nothing about that. Oh, congratulations. They're talking about T.S. Madison Starter House. So yeah, let me pull that up for y'all so that way you guys could see it, where I first got wind of this story. So they said, like, yeah, there was some sitting about, oh yeah, Wendy's free, blah blah blah. And they told me, no, actually she's not. So yeah, according to the neighborhood tour, they said that Wendy fans said enough is enough. The Free Wendy movement started by her day one supporters. Despite recent headlines, she's still in the same memory care facility under court ordered guardianship. No freedom, no updates. So say, if you can recall, Wendy had a psych evaluation done last month. It was reported that she passed with flying colors. So yeah, they're saying that she's still under the same rule after they lied and said, oh no, she's still, getting to come and go when she pleases. So y'all out here lying. Clearly. So yeah, I just want to point that and show that to y'all. It was just like, this is why all this protest is happening. But I do like the idea that you guys are also shedding light on, the overall how the system has failed a lot of these people who are in these guardianships. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this latest on the hashtag Free Wendy protests that are going to be happening tomorrow in New York and Los Angeles? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. She said, no, April Fool's Day. I know, right? They could have went April 2nd. As he should. First of all, nobody should have had his old stink looking ass up there. Anyway, somebody said that he left the stage after he had found out he had to mingle with blacks and homosexuals. So that's why he exited the stage. So you go and you hug Mikey Madison, and then when the credits roll, oh, I'm leaving. I don't want to mingle with nobody. And I saw like Kenan Thompson respond and a bunch of others like, fuck him. I understand like SNL wants to show like their, even though the type of jokes that they do on the show, and his ass voted for Trump. So the jokes that they do on the show, how they do a lot of political jokes, and SNL's always done that. That he was feeling away and he wanted to go up there, do his little performances, and then leave. They said he didn't go to the after party either. I'm like, why? I mean, that's fine. You don't want to go to the after party, you don't have to go to the after party because they always have a celebrity after party where everybody, who performs and everything, they go. But he didn't want to go. Okay. He don't have to. Because then he had to drink with people other than himself. He likes his little bubble where he gets to be around them them racist white folks. So let him go and do that. Let him go back to Tennessee or Nebraska or wherever the fuck he's from and collect his little tight ass awards. Has he ever won a Grammy? Probably not. He'd have to find people to like him first. It's one thing if he wanted to go to the bathroom, but to not exit stage left or right, to walk in front of the audience and say, glad to be in God's country. Whatever that means. My diverse cast icing him. I'm having to ban him because it's obvious he wasn't welcome. And it's like, I know, like I was saying before, I feel like, I feel like I didn't finish it. It's they want to show how diverse they're going to be, but if you're going to be ignorant, then it's like, okay, you can exit stage left and don't come the fuck back. He wore a 47 jersey on stage. As much as I like his music, it's sad. Oh, did he? I didn't watch his performance. Or was it that that's what he wore in the end? But I couldn't tell. All I saw was somebody fat was on that stage because it looked like he gained a lot of weight. Or was Morgan Wallen always that big? I don't know. I never looked at him that way. All I know is the only times I noticed Morgan Wallen, he was always getting in trouble for breaking things. Oh, okay. You're saying that it wasn't on stage. All right. All right, y'all. So let's get into this drag race recap. I don't think it'll be a long one because it wasn't really a lot that happened. So, we're down to the final five where, we lost Lana Jarrett. Sam Starr sent her home. Anya and Lexi were celebrating, winning the challenge, the Maxi challenge. Lexi was happy that she got the piggyback, I guess, off Anya with her winning streak and everything. And so now in the latest episode, the final five girls or final five queens, I should say, had to basically give makeovers to family members. Hence why the episode was called Drag Baby Mamas. So Sam, as you know, like during the, when they were still in a drag geesh and everything, Sam was feeling thankful to have a shot at the crown. Although I don't think you're going to get it, but it's nice that you think that you have a shot at it, sis. Now, the queens all headed over to read Lana's goodbye. They, Sam got emotional. I think it was acting, but she got emotional. Then she wiped off the mirror and they all went about their business. Then after, all the other stuff that was going on, then they had to play like this little game that Ru came into the room and had them play, which is basically, I guess, what was it like, fill in the blank? And so they played that little game or whatever. Oh, no, it wasn't fill in the blank. They basically had to like, who was the, who does that, like how well you know the queens and stuff and the thing. They played that, I think, didn't they play it last season? Sometimes when I watch so many episodes or seasons of Drag Race, the lines blur a bit. So yeah, they played a little game or whatever, and then Ru had the queens come in, and well, their parents come in, and I have to admit, I got a little emotional, and I think it's called Spill the Tea. That's what the game is called. But basically, he would ask a question, and the queen with the most points at the end wins. So then, after the game, Anya won the challenge. Get another one. I know people will probably get mad over that, but look, you can't help that you're good at shit. I mean, it is what it is. So then, then we had like Sam's mother came in the room, Susie's mother came, Anya's dad, Jules' dad, and Lexi's mom. And I have to say, out of all of them, the ones who I was really living for, I lived for Lexi. The story between Lexi and her mother, I really feel like that was overall the one that really got me in that situation, because she talked about how like they really didn't see eye to eye in a lot of when she was growing up, when she was, dealing with coming to terms of being, a part of the Levitical community, or in her case, trans. And then her battle with meth addiction, because she did talk about that. Remember, she was kicked out of her mother's house when she was growing up, and she was out there fending for herself in squalor. So Lexi had it hard. She had a hard life. And seeing that her mother came and did the show with her, and that they had like this, they've come to like this place of understanding. It's just like, it's what you hope for when you are othered and your parents don't necessarily understand you, and it takes a while for them to come around accepting who you are in your full truth. I also have to say, I love Jules' father. When he's like, "Hey, Queen," I was like, bitch." The way that he was just like fully, like the way that how he embraces his son is like, yeah, you just full on be, let your flame burn bright, as I like to say. And that whole "Hey, Queen" thing, that had me cackling. So I was living for Jules' father. And then also, if you go on Jules' Twitter, she did post a picture. I forgot, I should have posted on my social medias. She's posted a picture of herself with her father coming to her drag show. So for all those people out there that didn't believe that, yeah, her father was there at the drag show supporting, and her mother, supporting her while she was performing and making her friends and all the other stuff, and reigniting or igniting her drag career. Yeah, her parents were there and very supportive when she showed a picture. And Fall had a mask on, took it off just to take the picture, and then Jules was in full drag. And they asked her how old was she. I think she said she was like 17 or something or another. Then it was like cool to see like Anya's father, like, and how close they were. The only one I felt bad for was like Susie, because Susie really didn't have, like, I just feel like her mother wasn't really present in a lot of situations. She was low energy. And it's no shade, but when we get to the bottom two, I do feel like that bottom two was BS. There was no way in hell that Susie should not have been in the bottom two, especially in regards of how that her whole story situation played out. But anyway, let's continue. So yeah, they basically had to give their family members drag makeovers. So then they caught up with each other, Sam's mother wanted a Dolly as drag look. Susie said that she was a bit uncomfortable having her mom suddenly be in her world. I guess it's because Susie's mother wasn't really that active in what Susie does. So I can understand there's a bit of hesitation, there's a bit of shame there. But the good thing about Drag Race is that it gives that person who has been hesitant outside of the show an opportunity to come in and understand what you do. And then you can kind of get a closeness there. Hopefully when it comes down, because there's some people that do things for the TV because they don't want to, get dragged or whatever on social media. So they'll put up a they'll perpetuate a certain image versus when we come down to the reunion. I want to know the tea. Like, has your mother come out and seen your drag shows since y'all filmed the show? Like, that's when it's really telling, and not just, okay, I was just trying to be cute for the show, or trying to show like, oh yeah, I'm that amazing, awesome mom that accepts you, and I don't want the backlash of the fandom. Because a lot of people out there, even the grown ones, like to produce themselves. So they also said that Susie's mom didn't, because she didn't have the same desire for the stage as Susie, and she said she was going to make it work and try to find a way to make her mother comfortable. Which we gays, or as I always say, homosexuals like to do. We always try to bend over backwards to make other people feel comfortable, and sometimes we put our feelings to the side to try to help the others feel comfortable in our shit. And then comes a point that as you get older, you have to get to that place of like, you either accept me or just go about your business. But it takes time. But then, Jules, what I liked was that with her connection with her father and everything, she felt like this is a way to get her family and somebody together because her brother passed away in 2022. And then what really gagged was because when we heard about Lexi's past and everything that was going on with that, she was floored that her mother actually turned up. But also, what really gagged her, and of course I got to bring this up, was like when Ru called them over and they had that conversation, how Lexi's mother used a she pronoun, and Lexi don't practically lost her shit. And that's what I loved about it, is the fact that um the fact that her mother came around and was just like she, and then did slip up, which is gonna happen. And this is why I always say a lot of times in our community, particularly with the trans community, you have to let your family mourn the dead you, the old you, the person that had that dead name, the person that you assigned at birth. Let them have their moment and mourn that person. And then you are reborn as this person. It's kind of like, a butterfly, what is it? A butterfly coming out of its cocoon. So when you have that, you have to allow people to meet you where you at. Yeah, mentally and physically and emotionally, you are already where you feel that you need to be. But those people who don't understand you, you have to let them figure their own mess out, and then eventually they'll come around. So I do love the fact that Lexi's mother did come around and really come to accept her child and refer to her by the she pronoun. So it was like, yeah, I've come to the terms, and I'm gonna mess up a couple of times. Just offer me a little grace in that sense. And speaking of females, what is up with men when it comes around to y'all and titties? Like, the minute that men put them breastplates on, they did not know what to do with themselves, especially Anya's father and Jules' father. Like, they were just messy in regards to that. So that did crack me up a little bit. So then, what else? But they did, but I did love the fact that, it was moments where they made Rue laugh. There was a lot of touching moments, that sort of thing. So now let's get around to elimination. So now the queens, plus their parents are ready to hit the runway. So they're, the queens make over their parents, and then they got to put their hair and makeup and stuff on. And so it's like, it's double duty. It's like, you don't only just get yourself ready. It's like, you got to do two people. So you got to beat their face. You got to beat your face. You got to put their outfit, or help them put their outfit on. You got to put your outfit on. And then you had Lexi's mother was nervous about walking the runway. But here's the thing. Once she hit the runway, Miss Mama's was giving. She served. And I thought that she was just great in their overall looks. Now, let's get to the looks, because we had Rue who introduced the week's panel of judges, who of course is Michelle Visage. She ain't going no damn where. We had Laura Roach, and then actor June Diane Raphael. I don't know who the hell she is, but it's kind of like Jared Carmichael. It's just like, who? But that's what they had on the show, so that's what it is. So yeah, here's the looks. When the queens started down the runway, it was supposed to be drag family resemblance. That was the category for the show. And then when it came around to the critiques, excuse me, with Lexi and her mother, Law basically told them that they look so pretty and then it makes him feel good. Michelle basically said the resemblance isn't really there, but both of them do look good. Lexi gets emotional with her mother using her preferred pronouns and is so thankful and proud of her mother for her support. So now we are looking at them as like, yeah, I don't know. They talking about there's no resemblance. I don't know what y'all looking at. They both wear 90s. Oh, first of all, can we talk about Lexi's mother's ass? Like the ass was ass, and I don't know. That might have been extra padding, but the illusion of it all, the way that Lexi made her mother look in that outfit and everything, it was sickening. So I was living for it. So I don't know what the hell y'all was looking at, but I did see that there was a bit of a family resemblance, even if they weren't like mother and daughter. You could see that they were like maybe they worked at a brothel together. I don't know. There was a connection there in regards to what I thought in the overall look and everything. So I don't know. I'm just gonna have to agree to disagree with the judges. So then next we had Sam and his mother, who we call Sassy. That the family resemblance was fantastic. Laura loved their runway looks, and all the judges could tell they have such a deep connection. Then we got to Susie, and Michelle basically told her that the drag family resemblance is there, and June tells her she'd cast her in a role perfectly and loved how they incorporated her mother's energy and comfort level into the presentation. Laura basically told Susie she had the most fashion forward look of everyone on the stage, which shocks everybody. I know because when it come down to it, everybody be talking about Susie don't be bringing it when it comes to the fashions. Like they don't see it for her. She does have a unique point of view. And I think that's what makes her stand out versus when you look at someone like a Sam Starr. Sam Starr's outfit literally looked like it would be something that Roberto Cavalli would have designed. Like it literally looks like something straight off the runway. And then when you look at Anya Nerve and her father, it was given like Black Little Bo Peep. Like I don't know what them outfits was. It was given Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and Anya's father was giving me the Vixen tees. Like it was something. And then I don't remember who was that about. Oh, that's Jules. So Jules was cute. I like the fur look and the boots and all that other stuff. Like I just thought that everybody just did relatively well. I don't think there was any negatives. I just think the judges was trying to find stuff, but I didn't find like anybody was remotely. There was no real negative critiques, and I just think like it would be dumb for anybody to go home on a family resemblance makeover challenge. So then we get to Anya and her father. You can see that, but even though I was just reading they did look like they were having a good time on the runway. And so even if they didn't probably have the best look and everything, the main thing to get out there to do is sell it. Another thing I don't understand is why is it that when it comes around to the runways that it doesn't really count towards whether or not you stay or go on the show. I think the runway look should count just as much as the maxi challenge. Like I just don't get how the fashions don't work. So if that's the case, then I should not be out here damn near spending a mortgage payment on wardrobe for the show. Because I don't know if y'all saw that video, not video, that tweet of Aiden Zane on social media reading the girls for, not only we got Nepo queens on the show, but a lot of times they were rating their drag mothers' closets to wear it on the show. And I'm like, look, like Trinity the Tuck said when she was on Roscoe's last week with Sam, her drag daughter, like, you're not gonna be out here spending all that money on no reality competition show. You can go in that closet, you and Jules, since y'all are siblings, and go and pick whatever you need to pick and wear it on the show. What you mad for? I mean, I don't recall seeing these other queens in the show, so it looked new to me. So then get up there and wear it. I don't feel no ways tired about it. Because what I'm not going to do is go bankrupt for a reality show. Hell no. Not if I don't know where I'm going to place on there. But if you have drag queens or people in your corner that are willing to let you borrow clothes that just sit in my damn closet, then I recycle it. It's just maybe you just need to take it somewhere and have it tailored a little bit or changed up or judged up or whatever the case is, and it might work for you. So yeah, now after all the because she did say that, when it came to Michelle did say the family resemblance wasn't all there for Anya and her father. And then Law hates the outfits because Anya's daddy fine. See, Laura was trying to get that back blown out. That's what she was trying to do. Now, when it came down to the liberation, the winners of the week challenge was Sam and Miss Sassy Star. Then, of course, Susie and Lexi are both safe. And Anya and Jules ended up in the bottom. So they lip synced to my girl A. Marie's song. One thing I remember when I was like, oh, yes, bitch, y'all about to sing this song? Let me find out. So when I perked up immediately. And so when they got up there and they performed, I will say this. It's no shade, but not Susie. Jules kind of ate Anya up in that lip sync, but I'm glad overall that both queens got to stay and that we'll get to see next week's episode, which word on the curb is Susie might be going home. So we'll see how that works out. But it's funny how, like, in the spoiler, somebody did spoil to me. They was like, oh no, it's gonna be a double Shantae. Turn out to be true. So next week I'm thinking that might be true too. And I've already heard news that they already filmed the finale. And the final lip sync is Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. So if they're gonna be doing that bitch already, you already know it's gonna be lit. And so you think she's gonna say, good luck and don't fuck it up or die? Like that would be funny if she actually said that. In the finale when it comes down to the final lip sync. Because I'm like, yeah, put that in there since you love always referring to Paris is Burning, which some people always talk about that you kind of you made millions of dollars ripping off ballroom culture without giving it its proper credit. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I want to ask you all, what do you think of the latest recap of RuPaul's Drag Race? And what did you think of the episode of Drag Baby Mamas? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So let's see who was in the comments. You said earlier last week I was listening to one thing, wondering why the show never used that song. Look, and you already put it out there in the universe. You said you see why now the lip sync was off. I think somebody did a whole story on, oh yeah, I think it was a YouTube video. I didn't watch it, but I saw it just in passing. Because I know I'll be going down Drag Race rabbit holes. And then somebody basically said, like, can we talk about these Drag Race lip syncs? Like, I think there was somebody who literally was just not, like, I guess like you, were not impressed with the lip syncs this season. I do feel like I'm kind of over, I think I get so wrapped up in all the pomp and circumstance of the lip syncs, too many dips and splits and jump kicks and jump splits. Like, all that gets old after a while. I yearn for the day where these queens actually take the time to emote these songs on stage and stop giving me trickery. So I guess maybe that's kind of like why we easily get distracted from it. And then after I watch the show, it's usually like a one and done. Except the only time I watched the show more than once, and that was just so I could process all the stuff in my brain when I wanted to talk about it, was the iconic episode with Arietti and them going in on Jules. So I watched that. That was the only time this season I watched the episode like more than once. But usually when I watch the show, it's like I watch it, I move on. I got other things to worry about. So I don't really be watching the shows where I just like can process everything. That's why I be having to take notes. I feel like I like Anya's dad. He was funny. I see, but yeah, I just like her father too. And then come to find out that tea about him going to jail. He was robbing banks. Speaking of which, I have a drag queen friend named Robin Banks. She was actually I think we talked about this. She was actually at the Drag Race season 16 premiere. And she sat right in front of me and I went, I know you. She was like, I know you too. I saw you when you came out. I was like, bitch, why you ain't say nothing? So, because I we was on the blue carpet. I was all the way on the end with like the photographers of the press and all the stuff, and they was on the other side. So I was like, you could have said something. But I guess we waited till we got upstairs to like the room where we could, with the stage and the hors d'oeuvres and all other stuff was, and all the queens and the bar. And then we sat and conversed. I like Sam Mahamon the most. I love the southernness of the duo. There was a lot of comments about Susie's mom on a page on Facebook. I'm trying to find it, but she's getting Susie's mother? Because of how she dealt with Susie's drag situation. But look, that's I just really wish that people would just keep their comments to themselves in that situation. Like for me, doing it here because it's media, we talk about it, it's a recap. That's different, and I like the fact that y'all are giving y'all comments here, and everybody's being respectful. But to me, I hate the fact that people go on social media and it's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna send hate to somebody because I don't like the way you treated your child." Mind your business. Like, what are you doing? I need to go on social media and I need to be mean to somebody's mother because I don't like the way they treat their child and how they choose to live their life doing drag. It's like, but that's how she feels. And that's something Susie and her mother have to deal with. That ain't for y'all to be jumping in. Like, when it, parents, family, all that shit is off limits. But it's like, where does the respect go when it comes to that? Like when I was growing up, everybody was like, that's the parent. You got to be respectful. Even the goons from the neighborhood, like when my mother was beating my behind and my sister behind and all this shit, they knew to step back and mind their business. They knew not to jump in. Now it's like this new generation, the respect is going. Trump said he would love to run a place and he'll lose. It wouldn't happen, but if it does, he would cry foul. Exactly. He talks a whole lot of shit, but when it actually happens, he, starts his mess. You said this everything was everything traitors could traitors could never. Can you imagine if they actually had the family members of these people come on traitors? Oh, sidebar, shout out to the drag race who actually won a GLAAD award. I don't know if y'all saw well it's not out yet, but the clips is all over YouTube. When I saw the that Drag Race won, the season with Sapphira and Nymphia and all of them, because Sapphira got up and gave the speech. And so I saw Plain Jane and all of them there. Lexi's runway package this season. This is what she took out. Apparently, I found a bunch of outfits with trains on it. Right, I found something on Reddit where they say people need to chill. Yeah, exactly. People need to like stand down. What are y'all doing? I watched your Did Ariana spoil the top 4 video after this week's episode, and I was not expecting the top 4 spoilers. I didn't know the spoilers of the season. Oh, I thought you said that you muted the thing that you didn't want to know what was, and yeah, that was the thing because but I had somebody on TikTok say, "Oh, this is old news." No, it's not, because a lot of y'all had Susie in your top 4, including me. So a lot of people was not expecting to be like, "Oh yeah, next week's episode, Susie allegedly gets eliminated, and then the top 4 is who's left," which of course means Sam Star makes it to the finale. And I always said, like, I've always saw Sam in the finale. I always expected. I didn't expect Lexi to make it all the way to the finale. I mean, yeah, well, maybe I did, but then the way she's been playing it lately, I was just kind of like still going back and forth between her and Jules. I think what it was, now I remember what it was, I wasn't expecting Jules Sparkles to be all the way at the end, but she's kind of been that dark horse. So she definitely deserves to be there. But I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Sapphira should have won her season, no shade. But I truly feel in my heart of hearts that Anya is going to win the season. I mean, it's deserved. She's been consistent with her wins, so she might as well get it, right? I saw Pink News also did an article on I thought about doing it too. But I was like, no, I don't want to break all that down. That'll be a long video. But they were talking about drag race and how they said how RuPaul's drag race went from trans exclusionary to trans revolutionary. And because in the beginning they weren't all about just let's keep everybody, let's keep it the format of it's all about illusion. So you come in and you transform into a woman. You all come in the room as cisgender males, but then we transition into a female impersonator, but not realizing that yes, in drag it is complex because we have people who identify now as non-binary. We didn't have that when I was growing up. Non-binary is relatively a new thing. Also, or maybe it's just we just not hearing about it. Trans people have always existed in the world of drag, so that's something I've always known, and I'm sure Rue knows it as well. But that's not what they want to do in their show. So and how in the beginning they weren't really that accepting of trans people until like Monica Beverly Hills in her season when she came out. So I was thinking about doing I was like, no, I'm not going to sit and do that long ass article. So, but we talked about enough of Drag Race and what they do in regards to that. But anyway, speaking of Drag Race, let's give a huge congratulations to Plastique Tiara, in the words of how Silky Nutmeg Ganache used to say her name. Plastic. See, I couldn't even hit the note again. Plastic Tiara is engaged, child. So congratulations to her. So, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 11 and All-Stars 9 Queen Plastique Tiara, who blazed the trail for drag artists on social media thanks to her consistently viral transformation TikTok videos. And I believe she has like 3 million followers, or was it like 2 million followers, 3 million followers on TikTok? I know I'm one of them. Has announced that she's engaged to be married. Now, the Vietnamese beauty shared a sweet Instagram post Sunday morning revealing the news, writing, "Baby boy, this is serious," in this post caption, and sharing several photos of her fiance proposing to her. Now, in one of the images, Plastique embraces her fiance with her shimmering ring just resting on his shoulder. In another, a photographer captured the moment. Plastique's partner got down on one knee to propose in the middle of a foggy field. Now, what I do want to show you, I don't have that one. I'm going to pull that up in a second. But what I want to show y'all is this video of Plastique on the pit stop with Monet X Change as the host. And Monet discovered she got a ring, that he put a ring on it. So hold on as we play this clip.
How are you?
I'm so good.
Yeah. How was... Are you... Wait. Hold on a minute. What is on your finger? And is this a real engagement ring?
I'm engaged!
Oh my God! Congratulations! Oh my God! Yo, this is not a fake ring. This is real.
Exclusive.
Look at
Like, what is
look
she
at this,
saying?
God. Are you kidding me? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You know I love him so much. Y'all are so cute.
Is the light of my life, and yeah, I'm just so happy, so excited. You're like the first one to publicly get into it.
Oh my God, this is a pit stop exclusive, honey. Plastique, how are you?
Wait, can we go and talk about Monet X Change? First of all, she look good. Money's well spent, honey. I think she's probably on that, she's probably on that damn Ozempic like peppermint. But look, money well spent. You out here looking snatch for the gods. But anyway, let's get to this one. This is her Instagram. They said this ring is bigger than my house. That's what Vagina Heel said. And Alyssa Edwards jumped in the comments and said, "I'm beyond happy for the both of you beautiful humans. Cheers to a lifetime full of happiness and love." Pablo Vittar was up in the comments. So it was a lot of big names. And this is the picture that she posted. Come on, hands. Oh, it's a fellow Asian. How you doing? I was thinking, first of all, I thought it was going to be a white man. No shade. But y'all know how these Asian girls are out in these streets. So I thought she was going to get her a white man. Apparently not. But look, going back to the pit stop, what other people said? So Trinity K. Bonet said, so he's a billionaire. Another person said, Plastique Man is so lucky because he bagged him a beautiful woman and a beautiful man. Plastique is one of the finest people in and out of drag. Another person said, we know he is rich. Why are y'all all worried about how much money he got? First of all, Plastique don't need his coin because all the money that she makes doing the things that she do on her TikTok and stuff, trust and believe, Plastique got her own coins. Age of Aquarius said, OMG. Well, she said, oh my God, and did a bunch of crying emojis. Kerry Colby said, a love story. Then another person said, you're a winner, baby. Then, of course, we got another person said, now this will be, wait, what? Now this will be, so be going in the Herstory books. What kind of English is that? Not Wagon Wheel Watusi. First of all, that's not Cher getting married. That is Plastique. So yeah, now what else is it saying here? So that was enough of the comments. And now they said, in addition to serving fashion forward looks on the Drag Race runway, of course, season 11, of which she placed 8th, and All Stars 9, where she tied for 4th place, Plastique has amassed cross-demographic appeal with nearly 4 million followers on Instagram and, oh damn, and now it's 12 million on TikTok. She's also connected with Drag Race audiences back in season 11 through her story of immigrating from Vietnam to the United States, saying the world is moving into a... Wait, hold on now, because I was like, My mic went out for a second. It said the world is moving into a place where being good on social media is such an important skill to have. This is what she told EW in response to Queen's pushing back against newer performers on social media prowess. That's your LinkedIn. They're looking at the numbers. I came on a season where being a social media queen was dubbed as bad because you don't know how to perform. A true queen knows how to perform, of course, but the world is moving to a place where you really don't have to perform anymore. You could just DJ, do deals, and transitions all day long. Drag is changing, so get with it or get out. And you want to know something? Plastique is absolutely right. It's like we move into a place now where the times they are changing, and you know things aren't what they used to be anymore. And it's like, yeah, you need your social media prowess needs to be just as up as you being able to perform in the club, which is why I know a lot of y'all be hating on her. And we throw some shade at her on the show, but give a shout out to Corey King, because Corey King is the queen of cameos right now. Like the way she be going and doing things on social media in regards of getting a lot of attention and building up her social media fan base, which sidebar, she was doing that before she got on the show, or we knew she was on the show because she was posting a lot of these videos and stuff on her YouTube and things. And now that she made it on the show, of course, because everybody wants to be a part of the moment, the numbers went up. So there's that. So I definitely agree with her on that. Now, congratulations once again to Plastique Tiara on her engagement. So I want to hear from y'all. What do y'all think of this story in regards to Plastique about to become somebody's wife/husband? So whatever your thoughts are, I was like, damn, how many windows did I have open? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, so we have comments. You said, I'm gonna watch Hassan interview with Vivian. Elon's fiance are mad that his own kid is revealing Elon as only a family can, and they're not happy. Well, I mean, I forgot that he did that Hassan Piker did an interview with Vivian. I need to watch that too. But look, there was a recent interview that he did, of course, with Fox News, and then you hear Lil X in the background just crying. He just keeps using that kid as a prop. And it's sad. It's like, and the worst part is like, it's like Grimes doesn't have a say so. Like she has no control of the situation because of who she decided to get pregnant by. And what happened to the other child? Because they got 2 kids together. So where's the daughter? You out here using X as a damn, human shield. And then when I was over there, see, this is why I hate when Trump stuff immediately pops up in my life, in my timeline, because it starts to irritate my spirit. So when I was looking up for the Plastique photo, the other Instagram of her with the engagement, of course I see some stupid thing about Kid Rock in the goddamn White House. Why is he wearing a whole outfit of red, white, and blue? If American bigots can make a look so damn tacky, it's people who wear the damn American flag like it's Louis Vuitton. Like it's so annoying. Hassan nailed it, how people prefer the news. They'd rather have someone with ratty hair, messy room, a t-shirt. You mean kind of like me and my fake background? He said, they'd rather have someone with ratty hair, messy room, a t-shirt that hasn't been washed. Oh no, not washed in weeks. I can't go 24 hours without a shower. I will not be academic, stinking up my whole house smelling like rotted, meat. But I do agree with that. I think people want their news given a certain way. And that's why it's funny you mentioned that, because Funky Dineva said that he going to bring on, I guess, Yes God Action News or something or another, because he said that he's trying to round up doing his own news type programming. He said the way that he's thinking, and, you are on something, because what they said, like, what he's planning on doing is once he gets all his ducks and stuff in the row, that he was going to have people do news segments and bring up the news or deliver it in a way like a regular person would, not kind of like, well, this is so and so on this, and you're watching, Yes God Action News. It's like, no, we're going to deliver how I'm talking to y'all right now, and just giving it to y'all the full on, the information, and then delivering like a regular person. So I think that's what it is. People want relatability. And that's kind of like where it's going. But that's why I say we have a responsibility as pundits to give y'all the actual information. So I bring y'all the facts, I bring y'all the info, but also I'm gonna give y'all funny commentary, because y'all don't just want to sit here and me boring y'all to death with just factual stuff. Y'all here because I'm messy. He's a groom person in a studio set. Mm-hmm. Just to be messy, Corey K allegedly had a username. I mean, quiet as it's kept, he is a twink destroyer, right? I was gonna say whatever happened to the cock destroyers. We know what happened to one of them. She passed away, but yeah, poor Grimes. She has so much potential and did, and now she a mess. Grimes' situation unfortunate, but I can't have too much sympathy. That part. And so I'm sure you know who you was laying down with before you got with him. All right, now since we talk about engagements and things and all that, let's give a huge shout out to my girl Indya Moore. The former Pose star is engaged herself. So you know all the LGBTs is out here getting married. I was gonna say, well, with my husband, well, y'all know I ain't trying to get married. Y'all already know how I feel about that. I like my freedom a little too much. So now the 30-year-old Pose actress who uses she/they pronouns announced her engagement to Elias Acevedo with a sweet picture shared on Instagram on Wednesday, March 26th, saying, "My beloved said yes." This is what Moore captioned the video, which shows Moore and Acevedo smiling towards the camera while taking a selfie in front of a waterfall. She continued, Alhamdulillah, this man lifted me up and brought me closer to God. I'm so grateful beyond words. Mashallah, he saved me in ways I'm so grateful to not even know the full extent of. Moore concluded her post with the simple message, "Thank you, my beloved." So, and then Acevedo also shared his fiance post to his Instagram stories after teasing the big announcement in a text post, saying, "I've been sharing some bad news lately, and I thank you so much for holding that with me now. I want to share some good news with you," he wrote before sharing Moore's post, which he captioned with the red heart and ring emoji. The news elicited happy reactions from Moore's former Pose co-stars. Michaela J. Rodriguez wrote, "OMG, I'm just seeing this. Congratulations, Indya." Additionally, Ryan Jamal Swain commented, "Sibling, so happy for your lights to find each other. Peace." Well, you know, Ryan Jamal Swain was of the House of Evangelista. That was Damon. And then, of course, you know, Michaela J is Blanca. Now, the two have largely kept their relationship out of the spotlight. Now, on February 11th, Moore shared a poetic post about the meaning of love on her Substack, saying, "Love is in every time and in every place. Love is one love everywhere it goes. However, when we desire, it starts to appear different in different places. It feels as though different relationships hold different loves. But in truth, relationships have various conditions. The presence or absence of desire can change how love is perceived." So she was also, I should say, named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world in 2019. So in a 2020 interview with Elle, Moore opened up about her experience modeling during the COVID-19 pandemic and mentioned quarantining with her partner at the time, saying, quote, "I mean, it can be really fun. There are moments where it can be really exhilarating, especially if I'm getting great pictures out of the work that I'm doing." She said of modeling, "I appreciate being challenged in this way and being able to get really creative and hands-on." She also added and said, "It's also frustrating because my partner and I are quarantined here in his home, and my partner is supporting some friends right now who are staying here too. I'm not in a mansion, a high-class condo, or any of these things that a lot of public figures who are shooting are probably in." So she's out here doing the fashion modeling thing, and she out here just living a regular schmegular life, which I always liked about Indya. It's like she's acting in things here and there. She's supposed to be in that Sandman series, the second season. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I know they canceled it because, you know, Neil Gaiman and his accusations. So I don't know what's going on with the show. Is it done? Like, when's it getting released? So I know she's supposed to be a part of that, but I don't know how much, you know, what's the extent. But I should also point this out. So, you know, one of the other day, I came across a little thing because since we talking about Pose, I was like, whatever happened to Angel Curio, you know, who played her on-screen lover, Poppy Evangelista, on the show? So word on the curb is not only is Angel Curio married to Janet Mock, because now he goes by Angel Mock Curiel, which I could have sworn they broke up. But I guess they worked it out and now they back together. And now he's her husband. But he's also a real estate broker. So I came across this website, homesmart.com, and it said, just like captivating performance, find the right property requires careful consideration, nuanced understanding, and a touch of magic. Let me help you write your next chapter in Denver. So yeah, now he lives in Colorado. He is, and it says that he brings a unique blend of creativity and professionalism to the Denver real estate market. With a background as a professional film television actor, he understands the importance of storytelling and building strong relationships, and wields a unique perspective and creative approach to the art of negotiation and showcasing properties. Or do you think maybe he's channeling Lil Poppy? Remember when he was working as a broker at for the modeling industry, like he was doing that? So he probably just brought a lot of that over there. And a part of acting, that yeah, it is in the world of service, so that makes sense that he would kind of fall into this. So they said, whether you're a first-time home buyer navigating the exciting yet daunting process, or a seasoned investor looking for your next lucrative opportunity, Angel is committed to guiding you every step of the way. Originally from Miami, Florida, he understands the importance of finding the perfect home, a place to build lasting memories. Angel possesses a keen eye for detail and exceptional communication skills in both English and Spanish. So when not assisting clients, he enjoys spending quality time with his wife, son, and daughter. When did they have a child? But wait, did Janet Mock have a kid? Where have I been? I don't be paying attention to her like that. But anyway, so it's like, yeah, he enjoys spending quality time with his wife, son, and dog. He also has a passion for experiencing Denver's best culinary hole in the walls, with a particular fondness for Caribbean and Hawaiian food. So we going down his whole resume. So it says specialty, first-time home buyers, luxury homes, investment properties, and relocation. So if you are in the Denver location and y'all looking for Angel Mercurial Evangelista to help you find a spot, all the information is there if you can see it. That number is 917-517-3254. And it's out in Colorado. So shout out to him and shout out to Indya Moore. So yeah, that's all I want to say on that. So I want to hear from you all. What do you think of this story in regards of Indya Moore about the tie the knot? Angel Curiel, who played her on-screen husband on Pose, is now married to Janet Mock, who was behind the scenes, writing and directing a couple episodes of Pose. I remember at one point they were together. I thought they broke up, but then I saw this article a couple of weeks ago on my feed, and people were gagging over it. This news, and now I'm bringing it here because I was like, this is the best time to bring this up in the conversation, since it got to do with Pose and one of his on-screen, lovers tying the knot. So just giving y'all a little heads up of where he's at. So he's not acting anymore. Now he's doing real estate, which you'll probably make more money doing that than you would as an actor. Quiet as is kept. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. So we have questions or comments. Well, I keep saying questions. Say, yeah, Grimes situation. Fortunate. Yeah, I read that already. Now, see, Crunchy also said, hopefully this one better than the last because they was eat my sister up. Okay. Still hoping for a Pose reunion. Yeah, I love Pose. I'm so mad that they canceled that because I really feel like there was supposed to be more than 3 seasons. I'm calling BS on that with FX. Now you got me wanting to go back and rewatch the show again. I might actually do that because I just be in my nostalgia bag where I gotta, Keenan drag Morgan Whaler, call him a complicated sinner. Yeah, I saw that he was all over social media going in on him. Is Angel a trans man? I always wondered that. I caught that Angel T on LPSG. Wait, what? No, I think that Angel Curiel is born male. I just think that he was just in love with a trans woman. I know he does give trans man tease. I know it's like based off the look, it is giving that. But as far as I know, I don't think. Wait, let me look it up because I don't think that there's any story about him being a trans woman. And he's only the crazy part is he's only 29. He's short though. Well, we all knew he was short from the show, but yeah, they say he's 5'7", and he's 29 years old. So I was like, let me find out you talking about that there's peen pics of Angel Curiel out there. I'm like, really? Because if it is, we need to see those. But anyway. Huh. What else we got up in here? Oh, you said I know Stan was toxic for Angel, but I was low-key wishing they became endgame. And he left his wife and kids for her. I kind of always felt that storyline was the weakest for me in regards to that. So I wasn't really feeling their dynamic, especially because it was like knowing the stories about straight men who fetishize trans women and want to keep them as a secret. And it was like, yeah, he finally came around to the whole situation, but it was too late. Any thoughts on Janet charting on Spotify? Viral charts currently at 17. Yeah, I've been hearing about her old songs charting. That's good. I mean, shit, she ain't giving us nothing new. So I like the fact that, whenever artists, legacy artists, when old songs resurface on Spotify and people discover the music and it just has like this resurgence in sort of ways. I love it when Madonna does it. I love it when Janet does it. So it's good. I don't have no issues with it. So I'm glad she's out here doing thing. It would be nice if she actually gave us some new music, but maybe she doesn't have it in her anymore. Like what's going on with those cutting room floor tracks for Black Diamond? Where is Black Diamond? You said, oh, I learned the marriage tea over. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, because we know that site. LPSG, that's where they show like the dinglings over there. All right, y'all. So now we're at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you have not, please do me a solid, hit that like button. Also, be sure to smash that notification bell. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe because it definitely helps with the algorithm and all that good stuff. I'm trying to blow this channel up. We're trying to get down to, even though we are a small channel, I'm trying to get over to 3K at least by the end of next month or possibly by the end of the summer. Or we could push to 5K, that would be even better. But so yeah, and also I'll be putting timestamps in the show once the live stream is over. So that way you can follow, the stories that I did and get through all the banter and all the other mess. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode, so definitely tune in for that. I don't know what's going on, but I'll be searching for some stories for us to cackle about and kiki with when I come up on this live again and give you all a show. So love you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for jumping into the comments with me and being just as messy as I normally am whenever I do these long ass shows. So love you all for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And until next time, ciao, darlings.